And my phone number, apparently. We did. Did you? Reimburse you? That's good, man. Rainy weather. Yes, actually, we just came in from outside for the first time.
Where we got our beer stashed out back there.
Look at the Team Saskatchewan girls. Oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Saskatchewan, number 2 is Hunter Mayo. Number 4 is Josh
just give us,
Bear.
yeah,
Number
this is
6,
it.
Eston Hyman. Number 7, Dan.
No. Just wait till after they're finished. Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hockey fans from across Canada. Welcome back to the Bikini
Number
Arena.
18 is Chase
The
Burlock.
end of the
Number
road,
9,
the gold medal
Austin
game
Lamont.
featuring Team
Number 20,
Manitoba
Ethan Bear.
and
21
Team
is Ethan
Saskatchewan.
Greyeyes. 22 is Boston Bird. 25, Brent Cameron.
Very
number
special
30,
happy
Joseph
Mother's Day
Young.
going out
and
to all
number
the
31
mothers
is
out
Tanner
there.
Martin.
In Southern Shoshone, it's in Keats Idi Amar.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day.
You're still doing the morning show yet tomorrow? Oh my God, man.
I know.
Huh?
Here are tonight's starting lineups. First for Team Manitoba, starting in goal number 30, Zach Roulette. On defense, number 2, Logan Clark. On defense, number 6, Brandon Hill. At left wing, number 14, Evan Herman. At right wing, number 16, Jaeger Lapointe. And at center ice, number 13, Nakoden Greyeyes.
Okay.
And now the starting lineup for Team Saskatchewan, starting in goal, number 31, Tanner Martin. On defense, number 2, Hunter Mayo.
Chuck Hendry, Roger Gallagher with you live at the Bikini Arena for the gold medal game between Team Saskatchewan and Team Manitoba. Roger?
And we expect it to be a great one, Chuck. Manitoba played earlier in the contest, so that's why we had about a half-hour delay in getting this gold medal game underway. Team Alberta not in the gold medal final, so it will come down to these two teams, and we expect some great action, Chuck. It is the best of the best. Real quickly for Saskatchewan, number 2 is Hunter Mayo. Number 4, Josh Bear. Number 6 is Eston Himman. Number 7, Nathan Luray. Number 8, Sebastian Gager. Number 9 is Caden Jonas. Number 10 is Ethan Ironside. 12 is Cabe Delaney. Number 14, Riley Garrod. 15 is Bryson Monarch. 16 is Kinshaw Juray. 17 is Riley Dukowski. Number 18, Chase Burlott. Number 19, Austin Lamont. Number 20, Ethan Bear. Number 21 is Aaron Greyeyes. 22, Boston Bird. Number 25, Brett Cameron. 30 is Josh Young, their goaltender today. Number 31 is Tanner Martin. The lineup for Team Manitoba, number 1 is Braden Melstead. 2 is Logan Clark. Number 4 is Ethan McComb. Number 5 is Carrion Cook. 6 is Brandon Hill. 7, Matthew McLeod. Number 8, Matthew Mason Vandell. Number 9 is Bryden Sinclair. 11 is Colby Bear. Number 12 is Cobe Campbell. 13, Nogadon Greyeyes. 14, Evan Herman. Number 15, Jaden Posh. 16 is Jaeger Lapointe. 17, Cole Metchuk. Number 19 is Connor Roulette. 21 is Shagwan Swan. 23, Nathan Driver. 25, Carl Inglis. And number 30, Zach Drouet, who was pulled in the prior game in Team Manitoba, although not many of those 3 goals that went past him was his fault. Braden Melstead was replaced by him, Chuck, but we'll see how the teams fare. It is the gold medal game in the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships at the Bikini Arena, and it is going to be a good one. Right now, Team Manitoba tries to go all the way across ice, but that will result in a icing call.
Team Saskatchewan dressed in their green jerseys this afternoon, or this evening, I suppose now. Green and yellow trim, and Team Manitoba in white jerseys, looking like Boston Bruins, similar to what the Bruins would wear.
And a face-off just off to the right of the Manitoba goalie. They have new uniforms for this contest here. So, as you said, much like the Boston Bruins of the National Hockey League, they control the puck at the moment. Number 8 coming in for Saskatchewan, Sebastian Gager, had a good collision with the Manitoba player. And now here is Manitoba, not quite on a breakaway, Chuck, but he's going to go in and get the puck off his stick, though, and doesn't quite make it back to the point. The puck flipped high in the air from Saskatchewan. Almost a little bit of a holding call off that one. In fact, the Manitoba player goes down, but no call from the officials on that one. The referees, we should mention, is Josh Albanetti. Also Corey Loop wearing the red armband. The linesman, Josh Long, and Nick Albanetti are the officials for this gold medal game between Team Manitoba and Saskatchewan.
Speaking of gold medals, Team Saskatchewan girls just passing by us here with their gold medals around their necks.
Yeah, and perhaps inspiration to their male counterparts on the ice here at the moment, Chuck. So they're obviously in the stands cheering on their teams as some of the other teams are waiting around for the closing ceremonies and the medal ceremonies for the men's games. We had the ladies earlier. That puck up and on the inside of the mesh and becomes a souvenir for one of the youngsters down there, with 18:22 now left here in the first period. Expect this to be a close matchup for the first little bit. We have seen Team Manitoba play, but Saskatchewan are some new players for us, so we suspect if they're anything like the ladies team, there's going to be some great speed on that squad.
Pretty fast game already. 18, just 2.5 minutes into it, 18-10 left in this first period. Again, the gold medal game between Team Saskatchewan and Team Manitoba, Team Alberta being disqualified.
Face off to the left of the Saskatchewan goaltender. Number 17 for Manitoba is in there to take that face off. Cole Mentuck. And that didn't last long, as the referee saw something they didn't like within that face-off, so they'll attempt to do it again. No more changes for either team, so the teams will go with the players that they have on the ice at the moment. Manitoba hoping to get another player out there, but we'll see. Perhaps they will as play goes along. 2 minutes gone here in the first. No score, really no shots on net, at least at the moment. We'll see if the players are able to stay out of the penalty box. A couple of rough games, certainly a rough affair in the bronze medal game, Chuck. Lots of pushing and shoving and testy players almost after each play, at least after the first period. We'll see if that transpires in this final game here.
It looks like it is.
It is so far, and there becomes our first penalty. It's going to be a Saskatchewan penalty for slashing, who went after one of the Manitoba players. He's not happy about that, thinking that perhaps it could have been both players heading to the penalty box, but Manitoba will be on the power play for the first time in this contest as number 14, Riley Garrod, heads to the penalty box for 2 minutes or less. So Saskatchewan, as we mentioned, with the man advantage, they try to get it back to the point to number 17, Riley DeCounty. That bounced over his stick, and now Saskatchewan, short-handed, will bring it down all the way to the other end of the rink. That will force Manitoba to regroup behind their own net.
Time 2:23.
As they now start breaking away, they're up at blue line, now at center ice, brought in by number 13. Gray Eyes loses a puck there as it now goes back into Manitoba territory. Not able to connect much on the passes, at least at the moment. Saskatchewan gets the puck at center ice. Bit of a slash across the skate of the Manitoba player, but play continues. Now over to number 14 of Manitoba. That's Evan Herman. He had a decent game in the earlier game in the contest. That puck shot all the way down to the end of the rink with under a minute now left in that penalty to Saskatchewan. They control the puck. Good effort there by number 16, Kinshaw Gervais. He bounces it in as both teams do a complete line change. And now Manitoba back with the puck. They are at center ice into the zone of Saskatchewan. Hit along the boards, so puck bounces around. Tried to clear it out in front. Quick shot from the players there, and Manitoba on the board, Chuck, real quick. Pitter-patter there. They score with the man advantage, so an early 1-0 lead for Manitoba.
Nearly killed it off, just over 20 seconds left in that penalty, but as you say, they converged on that net pretty quickly, Roger.
Nice little flip out in front of the goaltender and a couple of quick shots on him. Not much help from the defense of Saskatchewan. The player standing exactly where he needed to be, the assistant captain from Team Manitoba. That is number 19, who has got his team on the board. That's Connor Roulette. If you remember, he had a very decent game in the last contest, so it continues here. And Manitoba right back on the offensive there against Saskatchewan. A couple of players will have to come out. It's an offside until Saskatchewan grabs control of it in their own zone.
The time of the Manitoba goal, 3 minutes 55 seconds.
3:55 into the first period has Manitoba. A quick shot there and a nice save by the goalie. And there's that little bit of pushing and shoving as we'd seen in the bronze medal game.
If you've lost a set of Ford car/truck keys, it has been found and is at the front desk if you're looking for it. Lost Ford keys at the
So face-off will be in Saskatchewan zone. Number 21 for Manitoba is in there. Sequoia Swan. He'll try to get it back to number 2, Logan Clark, but unable to win the face-off there. It's won by Saskatchewan. Pass right in front of their own net. Goes across rink to number 18. That's Chase Berlott, who is putting on the Jets, but lost the puck there. Shipped all the way back into Saskatchewan zone. And Manitoba quicker to the draw to get down there, so no icing on that call, Chuck. They now come up to center ice with Saskatchewan. That's number 10, Ethan Ironside, but that puck was bounced off one of his teammates. And just in front of us, some pushing and shoving. The ref came forward to tell the two players to split and to continue on, and they have. Saskatchewan number 21, Aaron Greyeyes, controls it now. He tried to get it over to Boston Bird, was unsuccessful in that attempt. Puck is bouncing around center ice now. Picked up by Saskatchewan. That's number 16 coming in. Kinshaw Gervais, and he shoots it back of the net. Back to the point. Quick shot there from Saskatchewan, and a nice blocker save by the Manitoba goalie. Now Saskatchewan putting a bit of pressure on for the first time. Both teams at even strength. Puck in and out behind the net. A couple of shots wide, and that goes up into the mesh and a stoppage in play.
14 minutes, 25 seconds left in this first period gold medal game at the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships. Team Manitoba up by 1 over Saskatchewan.
And a face-off won by Saskatchewan. Player tried to turn and get a backhand shot. Unsuccessful in doing so. Now here comes Manitoba, 2-on-1. Chuck number 19 in, shot. And that just goes wide from the back of the net. Another long shot there from Saskatchewan. That was even wider on that one. And now here comes the team's back, and that was a little trip, but it was still a trip nonetheless, and there's going to be a penalty on that one, Chuck. So for the first time in this contest, Manitoba will be headed to the penalty box. So we'll see if Saskatchewan might be able to do something with the man advantage.
Even things up, perhaps. We'll see.
That's number 17, Cole Mentuck, in the penalty box. Both respective captains of each team chatting with the referees there. Not quite sure what that conversation might be about. But well, now one of the Saskatchewan players are in the penalty box as well. That appears to be number 21 that's sitting in the box, Aaron Greyeyes. So we'll have to get the in-house announcer Ryan Menon to
clarify things there.
Don't see any time up on either of those penalties at the moment.
Manitoba's number 17, Cole Mentuck, 2 minutes for tripping. For Team Saskatchewan's number 21, Aaron Greyeyes, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct diving.
There's a goal from Manitoba again, Chuck. Right quick, right off the draw, almost the same spot as the last goal, and that now makes a 2-0 lead.
That was an interesting call, Roger, so that they call him for diving.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And then unsportsmanlike conduct, so that's why both players in the box. I'm assuming because the penalties were offsetting, that's the reason that they're not showing on the clock. But while that was going on, Manitoba lifted themselves to a 2-0 lead here early in the first. So this is one of the very first finals that we've seen that there's been goals this quick in the first period, Chuck. So we'll have to see how long this will, how far this will continue.
Scored by number 19, Connor Roulette.
Well, I'm sure Team Saskatchewan doesn't want it to continue for too long.
No, they definitely want to get a goal here. Connor Roulette credited with that goal. He had a good game earlier in the competition as well, Chuck. So he is maintaining. And again, Manitoba, fresh legs, played just a couple of hours ago here at the Dakini Arena, where Saskatchewan would have had a day or so break. So we'll see in the long run if that pays off or not for Saskatchewan or Manitoba as the play continues.
And in case you're joining us, Team Alberta was supposed to be in this gold final, but they were booted out of the tournament. And officials haven't said exactly why, but they're not here.
Face off now off to the right of Manitoba's goalie. Saskatchewan's number 12, Cade Delaney, is in there. He does get it back to the point. Long shot there, but that reflected off a stick and high up into the glassware here at the arena.
So, in fact, Team BC gets the bronze in this men's final, and it's up to these two teams to see who wins the gold and the silver.
Yeah, that's right. BC is credited with the bronze. We'll see that ceremony after this game here. And again, I know that Alberta's been in the finals for a number of years. Would have been nice to have seen that team take to the ice here, but some behind-the-scenes events have had that team, as you mentioned, disqualified. So we are down to Saskatchewan and Manitoba in this final game of the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships. It started over a week ago, a 46-game schedule, and it has come down to the final few periods of the tournament here at the Dakini Arena. 2-0 lead for Manitoba at this point. Back in behind the net, Manitoba having a little bit of trouble getting out of their zone at the moment. Players in each penalty box, but they are offsetting penalties. Right now, number 2 from Saskatchewan, nice little backhand. That was Hunter Mayo. Easton Heineman was in front of the net. He wasn't able to capitalize on it. Now here comes Manitoba with a 2-on-1, but that was offside just by probably a foot and a half or so there, Chuck, as one of the players had gone in just a little bit too quick. Got turned around. And now another penalty handed out to Manitoba. This is Manitoba's number 9, Bryden Sinclair, is in the penalty box. And
a Saskatchewan penalty as well, Roger. Things getting chippy out there right now.
Number 21, Aaron Greyeyes, is in the box, as was Manitoba's number 17 from the earlier call, Cole Mentuck.
No penalty to Team Manitoba's number 9, Bryden Sinclair. 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Cross-checking penalty there, so that will give Saskatchewan the man advantage. Give them a great opportunity to get a quick goal in this game to bring it a little bit closer here in the first period. They go back to the point to number 8, Sebastian Aguirre. He finds number 18, Chase Berlot, in the corner. He's trying to get it out, but went a little bit too far. Back to Aguirre, who was pressured from number 15, Jaden Page of Manitoba. And that puck is eventually cleared out down the ice all the way. No icing call, though. Good pace to this first period. It's gone quick despite a couple of penalties and a couple of goals already. Saskatchewan's players' bench is open. They were hoping to get a couple of quick changes there, but unable to do so until Saskatchewan now dumps it into Manitoba's end. cross ice right out in front off the skate of Saskatchewan's number 6, Esten Himmen, and right to his goalie, who decides to cover up and get a stoppage of play.
11 minutes left in this first period action between Team Manitoba and Team Saskatchewan. 52 seconds left in the Saskatchewan power play.
Face off inside Manitoba's zone. Won by Manitoba, but the puck just lingering around the face-off spot. They now attempt to get it out. Saskatchewan, a couple players right up front. Good little battle there. It does come out, so the rest of the Saskatchewan players will have to exit the Manitoba zone, which they do now, and they'll try to bring it back in with the help of number 22, Boston Bird. He controls it. Big slap shot there from number 7 of Saskatchewan, Dayton Luray, but one of the Manitoba players went down to block the shot there for his goalie. Back to Luray. He sends it out front, and a quick shot there that at least a couple of the Saskatchewan players thought it may have went in. And some good action play now from Saskatchewan, who has got the man advantage, but just for a few more seconds before this matchup will even up. And right now, Manitoba's player back on the ice, so that will draw the defenseman back from Saskatchewan a bit. Right out in front, nice try from Saskatchewan's Dalton Luray on that play. Still controls the puck, trying to get it over to number 21, Aaron Greyeyes, who just left the penalty box out in front, and all Manitoba could do was to ice the puck on that one. Chuck, good pressure from Saskatchewan there.
Still 2-0 for Team Manitoba, just at the midway point here in this first period of play. Gold medal match between Team Saskatchewan and Team Manitoba. And a shout out to one of our sponsors, Roger Softball Yukon, a proud sponsor of the 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championships tournament, and pleased to bring you this game as well.
Saskatchewan dumps it in behind Manitoba's net. They are attempting to clear it out, although intercepted there by number 10 of Saskatchewan, Ethan Ironside. They do now get it out. Good hard check into the boards just in front of the penalty box. And the puck goes high, finally finds its way to the ice surface and onto the stick of number 18 of Saskatchewan, Chase Berlot. He dumps it in behind Manitoba's net. And it seems that Saskatchewan has a bit of momentum there. Good hard hit right at center ice there, Chuck. And that's going to result in a penalty against Saskatchewan number 10, who didn't question that call at all, was in the penalty box even before the ref came over. Ethan Ironside, the Manitoba player, a little dazed over on his bench, hasn't gone to the dressing room, so he'll maybe miss a shift there to shake it off, but
looks like he got the wind knocked out of him for sure.
Yeah, he did, for sure. So 2-minute minor penalty to Team Saskatchewan.
Looks like a 4-minute penalty, Raj.
You're right, they have just changed it, Chuck. Absolutely right. So 4 minutes. So we'll see what Manitoba might be able to do with the man advantage, already leading 2-0 here in the first period. And they have it right out in front. Oh, almost an empty net there. Chuck just wasn't able to pull the trigger for the Manitoba player there. Good effort from Manitoba's number 12, Kobe Campbell. And here now comes Saskatchewan, shorthanded. And a beautiful save by the goaltender from Manitoba. Another great shot from the Saskatchewan player. It just went wide. Goalie wasn't even in the net. So a good break from Manitoba there, especially shorthanded. And how many times has that happened in the tournament here?
We've had how many shorthanded goals?
Several shorthanded goals. So everybody on their feet to watch that one. Right now, Manitoba controlling the puck. It's right around the Saskatchewan goalie, and 2 or 3 shots on him, so he decides to cover. But those shorthanded goals are costly, and almost one there.
Wide open net too, as you mentioned, Roger. I don't know how they missed that exactly.
And there we have the ability to see it on the replay there, and yeah, it was. Saw fans back of the net of Manitoba there, I think cheering for Saskatchewan. They had their arms raised as whether that was going to be a goal, but didn't turn out to be the case. Little dance there from Saskatchewan's number 16, Kershaw Gervais, as he had got by one of the defensemen for Manitoba. Referee gets caught up in the play, back of Manitoba's net. They now will be able to clear it out to center ice. Chipped down by Saskatchewan, and now here comes Saskatchewan back with sort of the left side of the rink open. Oh, number 16 tried to get it over to number 18, Chase Berlow, but he was tied up. A little bit of juggling in front of their net now for Manitoba as they forced to push the play back a bit. Now Manitoba is in, but they're on a offside call at the moment, so they're going to be forced to go out to the blue line and back in, which they have. Saskatchewan waiting for him. A pass that was all the way down the ice, but picked up by Manitoba, hit behind the boards. Controlled now by number 5, Carrion Cook. And Saskatchewan sends it out in front, but didn't go very far in that direction. Picked up in again behind the boards as Manitoba's number 7, Matthew McLeod, brings it out with a bit of good speed. A good hit along that backboard there. A pass that was to go back to the defenseman of Manitoba, but went further. No stoppage in play, no icing on that call. We're down to 6:48 left here in the first period. 2-0 Saskatchewan out in front of Manitoba in this men's gold medal game of the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships. Here comes Manitoba again. Another quick shot that was well wide of the Saskatchewan netminder. Puck now back out at center ice. Manitoba getting a couple of good chances here after it seemed that Saskatchewan was all over them just moments ago. So the momentum switching back and forth here at the Dakini Arena. That one is back in behind the net. Manitoba still with the man advantage, which was a 4-minute penalty. Just over a minute left in that contest, so chances are they may have a few more shots on the goalie. A good hit there, a couple little pushes back and forth, doesn't result in any penalties.
Last call for 50-50 tickets for
57 seconds left in the Team Saskatchewan penalty, and I got to say, as we just heard our announcer Ryan announce, 50-50 tickets and pretty happy sellers there. Tegan Valavan, one of the 50-50 sellers, and they've just been smiling all afternoon.
Yeah,
everybody having a good time at the rink.
Absolutely. Congratulations to the winners that have won so far this weekend in the tournament, and another big cash draw coming up later. Somebody going to pad their pockets with a bit of cash, and the other portion of that cash going to help to pay for the expenses of this great tournament. The first time it's ever been held north of the 60th parallel, and it happened to be here in Yukon. So we appreciate all the folks that have traveled from every corner of the country to be with us here, fans, players, organizers, referees, officials. And as I said, if you're traveling out on any of the aircraft over the next couple of days in Whitehorse, it will be a busy airport for a day or two until we get all of the players back home and back to their regular leagues, back to their regular teams. So great camaraderie for a short time here in Whitehorse.
Exactly, and can you imagine it? Wow, another goal.
Another quick goal there from Manitoba, Chuck, and they got a terrific snapshot, these players. Didn't quite see who was credited with the goal there. We'll see if we can see it on the replay there. I think that was the assistant captain of Manitoba, number 15, Jaden Posh, who will be credited with that goal. Saskatchewan goalie thought he may have had it, but wasn't the case.
Can't say I expected this. I expected Saskatchewan to be a little bit more aggressive in this contest.
Yeah, and I wasn't quite sure with Manitoba playing earlier today if that would help or hinder them at this point, if they would have been tired from that matchup, because it was a testy one and a long game in that sense. So, but we'll see how the second and third period goes along. See if the legs are as strong from Manitoba as time ticks away, but out to an impressive 3-0 lead at this moment.
Bodies flying, Roger. Saskatchewan came out hitting after that goal. They scored against them.
Manitoba goal scored by Pash.
And I'd have to say Manitoba a little bit bigger in size, I think, than Saskatchewan. Even the Saskatchewan female team was a little bit smaller than some of the other ones, but man, did they have the speed to make up for it. So it's sort of a 50-50, but And we believe that the time factor is the same in the finals as it is in the regular game. If a team is up by more than 5 goals, the clock will revert to a running clock rather than a stop. We'll verify that at the end of the first period, but I believe that is the case. Still a couple of goals away from that at that point, should it happen for Manitoba, but they have been all over Saskatchewan here in the first. But I mean, Saskatchewan has certainly had some good scoring chances, but it seems that Manitoba just appearing to capitalize on theirs a bit more often.
Just under 4 minutes now left in the first period. Again, 3-0 Manitoba lead.
And number 8 of Team Saskatchewan, that's Sebastian Guerre, who's had a good game, slightly injured there. Chuck has left the bench and headed straight to the dressing room, so we'll have to keep an eye on to see if he returns here in the first or if he might sit out and rejoin his team in the second. 3:30 left here now in the first period. Saskatchewan leading Manitoba 3-0 as play continues, and it is getting chippy along the board, so we'll see if Saskatchewan taking out a bit of their frustration. Certainly didn't think they'd be behind by 3 goals in the first, but credit a very good Manitoba team here at this point. Now back to the point. Saskatchewan, big long shot there that the goaltender was forced to make a save with. Lands up in the corner, but they gain control again. Tried to get it out to number 14, Riley Garrod, who was out in front of the net. Now you see number 2 coming in, Hunter Mayo coming in from the point. Almost had an opportunity there, did keep it in. Backhands it in into the corner, although it's going to go to a stick of the Manitoba player who attempts to clear it out, but no luck there. Gerard again, a good effort. Now he goes after one of the players from Manitoba, and no call on that one. Number 8 skating over the penalty box.
That was a close one there.
Another one there, Chuck. Several right in front of Saskatchewan. So Manitoba certainly turning on the burners here. Another quick shot there, went left wide and left of the net. Number 9 for Saskatchewan, that's Caden Jonas, is back in the corner. Good hit along the side there. And Manitoba still continuing to take it to Saskatchewan in their own zone. 2 minutes left now here in the first. That puck made it out in front, but only Saskatchewan players there. They are able to clear it. That will go down and will result. Well, no, they do wave icing off as the puck was just sort of wobbling over that final blue line there. Here come back Manitoba. Couldn't get it out in front to number 18 from Manitoba, who was all alone, Connor Roulette. A couple of players collide at the blue line. That's going to be an offside for Manitoba until they exit the blue line and then back in. Saskatchewan picks it up. Number 22, Boston Birds, had a good game up to this point. Good speed there, brings it in and was dumped in front of the net before he could get that shot away. Out to center ice. Now that's going to be an offside there by about 1.5 feet. Chuck?
Just over a minute left in the first period. Even though the score is 3-0 Team Manitoba, Roger, Saskatchewan has been coming on here, and they have had good shifts.
Yeah, they had a couple of good chances, but the goaltender equal to the task. Perhaps just that size of Team Manitoba is starting to pay off for them. So we'll see how the final minute and so goes here in the first, and then the teams will head to the dressing rooms. And certainly Team Saskatchewan will try to look for a little bit different strategy than the first. I think they're a little shell-shocked here after 20.
I think you're right about that, Roger. Face-off coming now.
Penalty box is open, so it looks as though Saskatchewan player is getting a misconduct. Chuck, coaching staff now calling over the referee to speak with him, but it looks as though that number 16, Kisha Gervais, might be out of this contest, and that's too bad, Chuck. He had a pretty good first period. We called his name lots, and
he is out of this. He's gone to the dressing room.
So Saskatchewan checking and speaking with the officials there, their head coach. We should mention Saskatchewan's hockey staff. Head coach is Tim Bear. Assistant coaches Jason Bob and Corel DeLee. The trainer is Nathan Boyd. Equipment manager is Doug George. And the manager of the team is Mel Paratino. And Team Manitoba is made up of head coach Kevin Monkman, assistant coaches Hayden Yerminko, assistant coach Daniel Shartland, trainer Hudson Yerminko, and manager Steve Daniels-Webb. And certainly Manitoba's coaching staff happy with their players at this point, although you can't really default the players of Saskatchewan. Just a pretty good, impressive 20 minutes so far from Team Manitoba.
Face-off coming back into Team Manitoba's end of the rink. In the dying seconds of this first period.
Manitoba controlling the puck. They send it up to center ice. Now Saskatchewan let that go, so one official had a call of icing. The other hit was waved off. Manitoba still controlling it. Center ice, they're just dumping it in, trying to get out of this first period in the 30-some seconds left, up by a score of 3-0. Saskatchewan trying to get players in place. A long pass there that's going to go all the way down the ice, and that will be icing.
So 22 seconds left in the first period. And we will be speaking with Whitehorse Mayor Dan Curtis during our first intermission, Roger Gallagher.
That sounds good. Dan, of course, here at the opening ceremonies, and now here for the game here. And it's good, been a good one for Team Manitoba at this point, as they're up by a score of 3-0. Here comes Quebec, though. Nice quick, Saskatchewan. Nice quick shot there that was steered aside by the Manitoba goalie. Now Saskatchewan controls it. They got a couple of players that's open. Number 21 making a beeline. That's Aaron Greyeyes. However, the Manitoba team there to catch the puck and send it down the ice. So Chuck, after 20 minutes of play in the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships, it is Team Manitoba leading Saskatchewan by a score of 3-0.
So we're going to take a break, and during this Team Manitoba, Team Saskatchewan goal game, and be speaking with Whitehorse Mayor Dan Curtis. Welcome to our broadcast center, sir. How are you?
Pretty good, Chuck. Thanks very much for having me.
Oh, well, you're more than welcome. How has your weekend been?
It's been fantastic. Amazing hockey, man. The commitment. You know, it's I've never seen such speed, you know, and dedication. But there's scouts here. Like, this is top-notch hockey. Like, this is really something to watch.
What's caught your eye about this tournament?
Well, it's just like I say, the respect that the players are showing to each other and to our community, and they're just taking it so seriously. I'm just amazed at the caliber of hockey. I mean, it's just really, you don't often see it with such young people, but I mean, the young women, the speed, it's absolutely phenomenal. But I really feel sad for anyone who didn't get an opportunity to take in some of these games, because they're absolutely top notch. And I think we're really privileged to have them here in our community. And it really is a national tournament for sure. Like, it's really got the best of the best.
What's it, we've heard our Minister of Tourism and Culture, and you were at the opening ceremonies as well, Mayor Curtis. What's it meant to the community of Whitehorse and outlying communities as well?
Well, I'm glad you said that about the outlying communities, because a lot of people that I've talked to have said they're coming back, and they're going to come back and check out something other than the city of Whitehorse. But I know, as far as an economic little punch in the arm, if you will, we're kind of in shoulder season, and the numbers I'm hearing are like $1.4 or $1.5 million just for influx into the community. But I think the legacy is that the organizers of this and the Aboriginal Circle, Sports Circle, have done such a phenomenal job. And I know that fair is fair, that it has to kind of rotate around, but I'm really hoping it comes back to the north, because they've proven they can put on a great tournament. And my hat's off to all the organizers and you guys, ensuring that everyone is aware and having an opportunity to hear what's happening on the radio and just tuning in if they can't physically be here. But I think it's left a real legacy in terms of Canadian hockey, and the Aboriginal hockey is really top notch. It's not second to anything. I think it's really going to take off, and I really hope we have the opportunity and the privilege to host it again.
You've mentioned scouts, Mayor Curtis. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I was just talking to some of the organizers, and they're saying that a lot of people don't realize that this is some of the very best in Canada. There's people that are going to be drafting into the NHL on this very, from this very tournament. So it's, I just don't think we can underscore the talent and the dedication and drive and commitment it's taken for the families and of course the athletes that are here. And it's not. It's nothing to really, shy away from, in the sense that we've got some of the very best players in Canada, which means we've got some of the best players in the world in this stadium right now through this tournament. So it's pretty phenomenal. And I wish I had a crystal ball, because I think we're looking at some people that are really going to make a big difference, and they're leaders. We got some seriously impressive young people here that are leaders to their community and to us, and I think they're really leading by example. And I'm really, my heart is absolutely full just watching them interact with each other and with their peers and with our community. And again, I think they just take it so seriously. Like, I'm sitting behind the players bench there, and I'll tell you, they're really in it to win it, and they're really respectful for each other, and even their opponents. I think they're here to win, but they're still very respectful.
You're right about the competition level here. It's they're going full tilt.
Oh, that's for sure. All
right, we're hosting the Arctic Winter Games 2020. This is a pretty good dress rehearsal, you think?
Oh, I think so. I really do. Like, I'm really impressed by this, and I think not just people in the Yukon, but right across Canada and beyond are paying attention. Look at this melting pot of what's happening, and they've got to be impressed.
All right, anything you'd like to add or give a shout out to anybody, Mayor Curtis?
Well, just the organizers, the mums and dads, mostly the mums today. Happy Mother's Day, and I think you guys have done a phenomenal job, and the proof's on the ice. You've done a great job, and we're really grateful for the entertainment and like I say, the dedication and commitment that we've seen, making some great leaders and great examples across our country. So thank you all, the mums and dads.
All right, the city of Whitehorse owns this Bikini Arena. And any changes in sight for what upgrades may happen here?
Absolutely. Of course, it has to go before council, but it's events like this that kind of shines a light in the fact that it's getting old, and we need to do better, and we have to improve the facilities to ensure that tournaments and local hockey continues to have an opportunity to really flourish in our community of Yukon and the rest of Canada to come and enjoy it. So I do believe next year we're going to be bringing before council some pretty significant improvements for this arena that's long overdue, and it's served us very, very well. But I think anyone that plays here would recognize they're grateful, but they'd also like to see some improvements, and they're long overdue.
All right, and it'd be great to have at least a junior B team back in town too.
Oh, absolutely, that's the dream. That's what we're going to shoot for.
All right, Mayor Dan Curtis, thanks so much for taking the time this Sunday afternoon, Mother's Day Sunday afternoon, to speak with us.
That's been my privilege and really an honor. Thank you very, very much.
All right, that is Whitehorse Mayor Dan Curtis. Again, you're tuned to a gold medal match between Team Manitoba and Team Saskatchewan, 3-0 at the end of the first period. The Zamboni on the ice right now, cleaning the ice, and we're going to go to Connor Trombley. Connor?
Absolutely. We're here with one diehard fan, Wally. Can you just tell us who you're, we hear you're cheering for the underdog.
Yeah, I always cheer for the underdog, maybe because I've been an underdog most of my life. And yesterday Manitoba played pretty hard. They maybe had a couple tough breaks there from the boys in stripes, but they're fighting back. And I said to my buddy, I said, if they can get some early goals, also having played already once today, you never know how that's going to affect a person, whether they're going to be tired or warmed up, or they're given they've been given a second chance at this. So that could be inspiration in itself.
Is this the first tournament you've seen or followed, or have you gone way back?
Oh, I played hockey since when I was about 5 or 6 years old. And I always attend the native tournament in March. Obviously I haven't been to the nationals like this. It's quite a phenomenon to watch these young boys here, 16 years old, and these boys can skate like junior hockey players, and it's incredible. Yeah.
And moving ahead, what have you seen the tournament gotten more popular in the native tournament? What have you seen change kind of over the years watching it?
I don't really know what's changed. It seems to vary from year to year. There used to be a team from Inuvik come down, and I think they imported a lot of players. Not necessarily, the players weren't necessarily from Inuvik or whatever, but they used to have a heck of a dynasty going. They were winning a few times, several years in a row, I do believe. And I'm not sure what's changed, but it is always a pleasure to watch.
Absolutely. And moving ahead, do you play hockey yourself?
Yeah, I do. I'm an old timer now, so things have slowed down lots. But I do remember these days here and I was just talking to my buddy, sometimes when the boys put themselves out of position to make a check, it's not always the best play. But I remember we used to really like making the open ice hits and that, although it does take you out of the play. So it puts your team in jeopardy slightly. We've seen that a few times tonight. And that's always a tough decision, whether you go for the hit or which is kind of a pride thing, or if you kind of, I guess, pass up on the hit and keep yourself in the play kind of thing.
And do you have any personal connections to Manitoba? Any friends, family there, or just love the province?
I've had some good experiences in Manitoba. I mean, it's a beautiful province. I have no family connections there. I do have friends there. Dave Ezard from Dawson's up from there, and had a girlfriend from there once, so maybe that's part of it. She was a good woman, and so yeah, no, like I say, it's more about, I see these boys really working hard. Both teams are working hard, but like I say, Manitoba's already played once today, and so they've got to have a bit of a fatigue factor, but they are right now it's 3-0. If they can get one more, I think it's over. But right now we still got a game.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully you'll enjoy the game with the rest of us. Thanks so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. That's Wally, Winnipeg, a fan cheering on Team Manitoba, Chuck.
Winnipeg Wally. There we go. All right. 5 minutes away from the start of the second period here at the Takini Arena in the men's gold medal game. Again, if Team Manitoba is tired, Roger Gallagher, they certainly have not shown it in the first period. Wally was talking about perhaps Team Manitoba having played earlier, that they would be a little fatigued, but not the indication so far.
No, anything but. Chuck, will have to see if that plays out maybe in the second or third period as it goes along. It's pretty competitive hockey, and to play 2 games back-to-back, time will tell, but you would never know in the first period. They look very strong against Saskatchewan.
All right, we'll be back from the Takini Arena. Chuck Hendry and Roger Gallagher with you, bringing the last 2 periods of the gold medal game of this 2019 edition of the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships, live and in color from a beautiful Takini. Not quite downtown Whitehorse, but up the hill from downtown Whitehorse.
Bikini Arena, and it is controlled by Manitoba at the moment. The puck flipped up into the air, but brought down onto the stick of Saskatchewan's number 19, Austin Lamont. He's in the far zone with the puck, trying to get it out to one of his teammates out front. However, that ends up on a stick of Team Manitoba, and now a couple of them coming back. Chuck, that's number 14 that comes in with a fairly good shot there. That's Evan Herman. We've heard his name a couple times already. Good effort for him, but Saskatchewan controls it. They bring it out to center ice.
And we should mention that just before the end of there's a good hit there by Team Saskatchewan right in front of the Team Manitoba bench, that there was one ejection. One Team Saskatchewan player was ejected in a misconduct.
Yeah, that is correct. That won't affect the penalty clock at this point, but this call will. The referee has lifted his arm, and not the way Saskatchewan wanted to start the second period here with another penalty headed player headed to the penalty box. That appears to be number 8 that's in the penalty box for Saskatchewan, Sebastian Iker. So Manitoba is still in the driver's seat here early in the second.
And as many people have speculated or commented on, Team Manitoba, having played earlier, doesn't seem to have affected their legs.
No, in fact, it may have helped them out. Physical game there, no major injuries from that game for Manitoba, and they seem to be doing well so far here in the second period. They are controlling the puck now in Saskatchewan's end, doing a bit of some nice passing there right onto the stick of one of the Saskatchewan players. He was unable to clear it. They do now, and that goes the length of the ice. Manitoba forced to draw back into their own zone. Here they come up now, up to number 11, although that is bounced off over his stick. That's Colby Bear. Saskatchewan player manhandled off the puck, and that, I think, is going to result in a penalty on that back play there, Chuck, when looks as though it's going to be a holding call this time against Manitoba. So the officials busy in the first period, and seems to be continuing here in the second.
Penalty boxes, revolving door, as you say, Roger. 18 minutes left in the second period.
Number 12, Colby Campbell for Manitoba, is in the penalty box for 2 minutes. The one penalty to Saskatchewan was a 4-minute minor, so it will still see Manitoba with a man advantage here shortly, barring any scoring from either of the two teams.
Colby Campbell, 2 minutes for holding. The time of the penalty, 1 minute 48 seconds.
Puck is now controlled by Manitoba. They dump it out. Saskatchewan will be forced to regroup at center ice. In fact, they send it back into their own zone. Nice long up the middle pass that's been knocked down by their assistant captain. He dumps it in, but onto the stick of a Manitoba player. That is going to be an offside should it be touched. However, the puck does come out, and now Manitoba comes up. Speeding up along the left-hand side there was number 14, Evan Herman. That puck was taken off from him. Back down, Saskatchewan controls now at the moment. That's number 19 coming in, Austin Lamont. He's roughed up into the boards. Out to the point to Saskatchewan. A shot there goes off a couple of skates and sticks and into the far corner. Saskatchewan, though, still controlling at the moment. That puck slithers by the outside of the post of the Manitoba goalie. Puck is at center ice now, being brought in by Manitoba. Nice move there to get around the defenseman of Saskatchewan, although not able to do much with it, as none of his teammates were in quite the position that he was hoping. And now he's forced out of his own zone, still with the puck. Good battling there by Saskatchewan's number 19 along the boards, Austin Lamont. He's had a good shift. Manitoba trying to get around a couple players. They get the puck in front, but that was cleared by one of the forwards of Manitoba, now still dumped in behind their net. Manitoba now putting a bit of pressure on Saskatchewan. They attempt to get the puck down the ice. They get it as far as center ice, and Manitoba will mount another comeback into their zone. That's number 19 coming in, Connor Roulette, who has brought it all around the net, ends back up with the puck, passes it off to number 15, Jayden Posh. He skates with it up along the boards. dumps it out in front, but that lands on a Saskatchewan stick, although Posh again controlling it. Now the Manitoba player is back on the ice, so they will have the man advantage here, Chuck, as they still remain in Saskatchewan zone. Caden Jonas, number 9 for Saskatchewan, trying to clear it. He's not able to, although he does get it out in front of his net. And Saskatchewan just sitting back here. It seems Manitoba is trying to get that perfect shot, which almost came there to number 5. Back into Manitoba. They control it along the boards, trying to get it out to number 5, Kieran Cook, to get that shot. He gets one from the center ice slot, but that is off the skate of one of the Saskatchewan players and goes into the corner. Time ticking away, 15:25 left here in the second, with Manitoba still out in front by a score of 3-0. And Manitoba controlling much of the play in Saskatchewan zone, but just not getting those shots on net. Just can't seem to get that open player out in front. Another attempt there. That puck goes up, hits the mesh, and will result in a stoppage of play again.
15 minutes left in the second period of play between Team Manitoba, gold medal game, and Team Saskatchewan. In case you're just joining us, Team Alberta would have been playing in this gold medal game, Roger, but for reasons not made known to us, they were kicked out of the tournament. So in fact, we're watching Team Manitoba, which would have won bronze, playing in the gold medal game.
Yeah, our listeners would have heard the same players' names just a short while ago. And they had a good game, picked up the bronze, as we mentioned, Chuck, but because of some behind-the-scenes controversy, they are back in the tournament and having a chance to play for the gold, and are leading it by a score of 3-0 here at the moment. A couple of good hard hits there, a couple of passes didn't quite make it through to the Saskatchewan goalie, so the puck is mostly played 10-15 feet in front of both of the goalies. That puck goes all the way in, and another icing call. We mentioned the 50-50 draw, just around $640 was, I'm not quite sure who won it, but the individual that did had a Team Ontario jacket on. So if her week wasn't already complete by visiting our great city of Whitehorse and our territory of Yukon, she'll be taking home some of that cold northern cash.
There you go. Or shopping with it here.
Well, that would be even better, wouldn't it? Yeah. So Saskatchewan, a couple shots. That's the first really scoring chance that they've had on Team Manitoba. They haven't been in their zone much. And a penalty there going to be called, and I think that one's going against Manitoba, Chuck, at least from the reaction of the Saskatchewan player in the penalty box. He was happy with that call. Wasn't happy with his, but happy that the ref made that one. And it looks as though that Manitoba's number 21, Aaron Greyeyes, will be in the penalty box.
For 2 minutes. Again, 3-0 Team Manitoba over Team Saskatchewan. 14 minutes left in the second period of play at the Takini Arena.
The penalty.
So we'll see how
Manitoba's
Saskatchewan
number 21,
will
Sequoia
be able
Swan.
to do.
2 minutes for interference. The time of the penalty,
With the man advantage at this point,
seconds.
trying to get it back to the point to get one of the defensemen to
Manitoba
have a good
penalty,
clear
Swan.
shot. That one tried to
2
go
for
across the
interference.
rink as
Time,
the
5:55.
assistant captain of Saskatchewan was open, just not able to get the puck on his stick. Goes back to the point to number 8, Sebastian Yaguer, who took a shot. That went well wide. Players fighting along the right-hand side of the boards there. Now it comes up with Manitoba, and a nice play there to bring it out, Chuck, although they won't be able to be very successful in getting into Saskatchewan zone. Number 19, Austin Lamont, comes back to take control of the play, and Saskatchewan comes up along the outside of the boards with the man advantage, dumps it in, tries to regain the puck behind the Manitoba goalie. Now back out to the point, back to Yaguer again. He goes across to his defensive partner, thought he may have had a better shot. Yaguer is about to take it there. Been passing it back and forth between Josh Bear and Yaguer. Neither of them, though, able to let a good shot go from the point. And now Manitoba gets the puck all the way down, and a good second effort there by the Manitoba player to hold it up along the boards against Sebastian Yaguer. Saskatchewan does end up with the puck, though. Now they'll start bringing it back the other way. fast-paced action here in the second period. 30 seconds left in the penalty, and Saskatchewan on the board with a quick shot there. So exactly what Saskatchewan was hoping for with the man advantage, and now we've got ourselves a game.
Exactly, we've got ourselves a game. 3-1, just 2 goals separating Saskatchewan from Manitoba. And that was definitely the boost that Team Saskatchewan needed. Roger.
Absolutely, and comes at the right time here in the second period as well. And good fan contingent base of the Saskatchewan female team behind the bench of the male players there. So lots of encouragement there.
The Team Saskatchewan goal. A power
So they
play
have
goal.
broken
Scored
through
by
on
number
Team
2,
Manitoba and their
Hunter
goaltender.
Mayo.
So Hunter Mayo, number 2 for
The
Saskatchewan,
assist,
being credited
number
with the
22,
goal.
Boston Bird.
And Boston Bird, who you've heard earlier in the broadcast, has had a good game.
Ethan Bear.
And Ethan Bear also assisting on that one. So a 3-man effort has Saskatchewan back in this contest. We'll see how they're able to manage here. That will give certainly Saskatchewan a boost. And we'll see if that earlier game with Manitoba has any effect as the next half of the game plays out. Saskatchewan now dumps it out. Tried to get it out to number 10, Ethan Ironside, who was heading down center ice, but wasn't able to make it through, and a stoppage of play now from the referees.
Total line changes for both teams as well.
Familiar tune in the background that everybody recognizes as Hockey Night in Canada. It happens to be in the capital city of Yukon for the 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championships. We're down to the final half game of the competition. Started just over a week or so ago. 46 games played between 2 venues here at the Dakini Arena and the Canada Game Center, and it's brought us 3 great finals up to this point, and we're in another good one here in this gold medal matchup. Has a couple of hits along the board. I don't know if the referee's going to call anything there. The puck goes up over and again becomes a souvenir for one of the youngsters along the boards.
And unlike our own native hockey tournament here, Roger, there are no cash prizes for the winners in this tournament. They play for pride.
That is
and
right.
A beautiful trophy as well.
Yeah, that's correct, Chuck. And the award ceremony for the men's coming up directly following this game. So please stick with us for that. And of course, we'll have other highlights throughout the next couple of days on Sean FM as well of the 46 games that have been played in the tournament. Manitoba now controlling the puck as they dump it in behind Saskatchewan's net. Number 4 for Saskatchewan, Josh Bear, goes in to get control. Puck right out in front of the net. A little bit of confusion of where that puck was there from the goalie. It's now dumped out to center ice and going to go all the way down the rink, and that will result again in an icing call with 10:42 left in the penalty, or in the period, sorry. And number 16 for Saskatchewan is now out. So no players in the penalty box for either team. So coaching staff has their full gauntlet of players in front of them to choose from, and fresh legs on from both the teams at the moment. And Saskatchewan wins the faceoff, not able to get it out as it was dumped back in by number 9, Bryden Sinclair of Manitoba. Now here comes Saskatchewan, assistant captain, shoots it across the ice to number 16, Kinshaw Gervais. He wasn't able to handle that for very long, and now here comes Manitoba on a break. Number 14 in, just not able to pull the bullet on that one. Chuck was just a little too far past the Saskatchewan goaltender before he was able to get any type of shot, so Saskatchewan comes back. That's number 22 moving in. Boston Bird, who was in on the 1 goal earlier. A little bit of roughness behind the net. Referee encouraging all of the players to continue play. They have. Saskatchewan controls it. Tried to get it out to center ice, but not able to do so. They do now. And here comes Manitoba. Almost had a 2-on-1. Didn't work out that way, so a quick shot was taken, but that was high and wide of the Saskatchewan goaltender. Saskatchewan now back. Number 16 in. Tried to get it over to number 22, Boston Bird, but that was just a little bit too hot to handle, and net came off its moorings. that will be replaced. And again, we'll have a face-off just inside of Manitoba's zone. Saskatchewan makes a complete line change.
Again, a shout out to our sponsors, Roger, in this 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championship, one of which is Whiskey Jack's Pub and Grill and Big Bear Donair, proud sponsors of the Native Aboriginal Hockey Championships and this game as well. And they would like to wish all the teams a great tournament, a happy Mother's Day, and safe travels back to their communities.
Play now underway in Manitoba's zone, controlled by Saskatchewan's number 18, Chase Burlott. He doesn't have it for very long. A good shot there, or an attempt from Manitoba. Now Saskatchewan controls it at center ice. They dump it in. That's number 10, Ethan Ironside. He goes in after his own rebound. That goes off the stick, though, of one of his teammates. Ends up on the stick of Team Manitoba. They now bring it out. That's number 7, Matthew McLeod. He takes a shot at the net. Goaltender juggles it, but holds on. So stoppage of play. A few words between the players there of Manitoba and Saskatchewan. The officials getting in between them. Nothing will come of that.
Down to just over 8 minutes left in the second period. Again, Team Manitoba with a 2-goal lead over Team Saskatchewan. 3-1 the score right now.
Face-off in Saskatchewan zone, and won by Saskatchewan's number 4, Josh Bear. He dumps it out to number 9, Caden Jonas, who attempted to take it over the ice. And it became an offside and then became a penalty from the officials, Chuck, on Team Saskatchewan. We'll see what the call is. Slashing is what the officials are indicating to number 9, Caden Jonas.
And the Team Manitoba player is still on the ice.
I do see that. One of the trainers have come out to his side. That would be Hudson Yerminko, the trainer for Team Manitoba.
To Team Saskatchewan's number 9, Caden Jonas. 2 minutes for slashing. The time of the penalty, 11 minutes, 18 seconds.
So the Manitoba player a little
penalty,
slow
Jonas,
getting up,
2 for
favoring
Time,
looks to be his
11:18.
left leg there, Chuck, as he's going to be taken over to his bench. And I suspect he'll probably go to the dressing room, maybe to get looked at by the training and medical staff. We'll keep an eye on that to see if he remains on the bench or not.
I would suspect you're correct. He'll be escorted to the dressing room.
I'm sure they'll give him a quick evaluation, and if not back here in the second. He's walking on his own heading back, so that's good news. We'll see if he's back here in the second period, or maybe he'll rejoin his team in the third. Either way, face-off is back in the Saskatchewan zone.
And Softball Yukon, proud to sponsor Shone FM's live coverage of the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships, and they wish all teams much success.
Grey Eyes for Manitoba wins the face-off, but then after an attempted shot at the goalie, it was cleared. Manitoba now forced all the way back in their own zone. They have got the man advantage for 1:39 here in the third. That's number 16 of Manitoba, Jaeger Lapointe, and now that puck is bounced out in front, and Saskatchewan has got a breakaway and a beautiful save by the goaltender from Manitoba, Chuck. So again, as we talk about those shorthanded goals, almost another one there. Beautiful save by the goalie, though. And again, here comes Saskatchewan. This time they're going to have a 3-on-2, although I don't think that number 16 of Saskatchewan, Kishad Jaravis, knew that he had a couple of teammates just behind him. Lost the puck to Manitoba. They now will attempt to bring it in. Lapointe trying to poke the puck over to Evan Herman. He's not able to do so, and that's cleared all the way back into the zone of Manitoba. They will now attempt again. That's number 19 coming in, Connor Roulette. He's had a great game. In fact, he's had 2 good games, both the ones that we broadcasted here. Scored a goal in the previous contest. That puck, though, is now dumped, and again, all the way down the ice. No call as the Saskatchewan player still in the penalty box. 7 minutes left now here in the second period. And we've got Manitoba out in front of Saskatchewan by a score of 3-1, less than 10 seconds on the penalty. So soon each team will be even aside. Quick shot, though, from number 2, Logan Clark of Manitoba. That just went wide of the Saskatchewan netminder. And he is now back on the ice. So, each team at even strength, and we'll have to see what the officials are calling there, Chuck.
Looks like they're waving it off.
Yeah.
Team Manitoba's, the puck is in the net, and Team Saskatchewan's net.
Yeah, it is. The light is on from one of the officials behind the net, but referee in perfect spot to wave it off. We'll just have to find out why.
They're having a little discussion right in front of our booth and the scorekeeper's workstation.
So it may have went in off a skate, perhaps, is what they're thinking, Chuck. Or maybe if one of the players was in the crease, it could have been a penalty, but no penalty called on that play. But certainly the goal has been waved off.
But the two linesmen and the other 2 referees are having a discussion, as I said, right in front of the scorekeeper's booth.
Absolutely, and both the captains of Saskatchewan and Manitoba are there to find out why. So,
but the goal is being waved off. You may have heard the screams of approval from the Saskatchewan fans.
And I see the referee, Josh Albonetti, giving the motion of the, looked as though it might have been a hand pass or off the glove of one of the players. So either way, no goal, and score remains 3-1. Face-off will be just brought outside the blue line, and it's won by Saskatchewan's number 16, Kershaw Gervais. He's going in. Quick shot there on the Manitoba goalie. He was equal to the task, and now here comes Manitoba. Not going to be able to be quick enough to get in off Josh Bear of Saskatchewan to make it a 2-on-1. They still control, though. A couple of shots didn't make it out. That was close to being offside, but wasn't the case, so still kept in with Manitoba continuing to put a bit of pressure on Saskatchewan. They have got 1 goal here in the second period to narrow it to a 2-goal lead. They would certainly love to get another one, though, before this second period runs out, and wouldn't that make a great third? So we'll see if they're able to do that. They're at their own blue line at the moment, not able to get much past the blue line of Team Manitoba. Right now, number 5 controls it, Carrion Cook, who is hit hard behind the boards as Manitoba dumps it all the way up ice. 3 players going in now, up to number 7. A quick backhand there, and a nice save by the Saskatchewan netminder.
Just over 5 minutes left in the second period of the gold medal men's game between Team Manitoba, leading 3-1 over Team Saskatchewan.
Face off to the right of the Saskatchewan netminder. Referee indicating no more changes. Team Manitoba hoping to make a change there, but not allowed to, so they'll go with the players that they have on the ice at the moment. Manitoba, a quick shot and a nice glove save from the Saskatchewan netminder that was able to follow it all the way through. That's Tanner Martin, who is, despite let in 3 goals at this point, has had a decent game, and Braden Melstead at the other end of the rink hasn't seen quite as much action. One's got by him up to this point. Here comes Saskatchewan, though. That's number 19, Austin Lamont. He's in. Quick speed there, tried to get it over to Ethan Ironside. He does the shot from the point. That goes wide. Ironside still with it. The back of his net over to his teammate, who's roughed up along the boards by number 4, Ethan Malcolm of Team Manitoba. Saskatchewan's defenseman creeping in a little bit, trying to get that shot. They do there, but doesn't quite make it all the way to the netminder, and that brings Manitoba coming back. Number 15 moving in. Jaden Posh scores!
Team Manitoba, once again.
Nice goal there from Team Manitoba to lift them to a 4-1 lead now here in the second period. So
I would say unless Saskatchewan can get another goal before the end of this period, that
Yeah, it
Team
will.
Manitoba looks good going into the third.
It will certainly make it a bit tougher for sure in the third if they're not able to net one here. Still lots of time left in the second, so. But it seems right from the start of the contest that Manitoba
His second of the game,
has been
scored by number 15, Jaden Pash.
And there's been a
Assist to
goaltending
number
change
8,
for
Matthew
Saskatchewan, Chuck.
Mason
Joseph
Vandal.
Young has now taken the net for Saskatchewan. So
17,
after 4
Cole
goals, Tanner
Manta.
Martin is back on the bench. Hard to
Time
fault
of
him
Manitoba
for
goal, 15
many of the
minutes,
goals,
20
though. But
seconds.
sometimes that is used as a motivation tactic rather than
Manitoba goal
penalizing the
scored by
goaltender.
Pash,
So
his
they have
second.
made a change at the
Assist
moment.
Mason Vando and Mentuck.
Motivate the bench, in other
15-20.
words, Roger?
Yeah, absolutely, and the players, Chuck. So you got to try something different with a 4-1 lead here in the second. So that's the approach that the team has taken at the moment. Haven't seen any action from Joseph Young yet in the tournament. We'll see how he fares against a pretty aggressive and pretty good offensive Team Manitoba up to this point. Quick shot there on the Manitoba goalie. He was able to knock that down, picked up by one of his teammates. They now dump it out, and here comes Manitoba again with quick speed. Number 14 in, and wow, goaltender Young able to make that first good stop to keep his team in it. So goalie trying to do his best, and quick little break from number 14, Evan Herman for Manitoba, that almost had his team up by another goal.
Good burst of speed there. Exactly, Roger. Face off to the right of Team Saskatchewan's goalie.
And face-off won by Saskatchewan. They'll attempt to control it back of their net. That's number 9, Caden Jonas, trying to get it up to Kishad Gervais, but he wasn't able to hold on to it. Now, one of the Manitoba players taken down, no penalty on that call. And Saskatchewan comes out with a bit of speed. There at center ice. Dump it in, trying to get his own rebound was number 22, Boston Bird, who falls behind the net. Saskatchewan player has lost both his stick and his glove. That puck high up into the meshing and a stoppage of play.
Just over 3 minutes now left in the second period. A lot of whistles towards the end of this period, right?
It has slowed down a bit, Chuck, absolutely, which is probably good news for Saskatchewan. They need to do a bit of regrouping here and figure out how to get that next goal. 22 for Saskatchewan. Boston Bird has it, passes it off to his teammate Aaron Greyeyes. Now back to the point, tried to get it to their defense, but he was tied up along the boards. Puck goes all the way back into Saskatchewan's territory, although controlled by one of their own players. Now up to center ice. That's Boston Bird. He's got to be tired. He's been on there for a while along with Aaron Greyeyes. He still has the puck, bounces it in, and now goes for a line change. Bird wanting to do the same, just not able to get off the ice at the moment. And that puck shot all the way down. Saskatchewan netminder comes out, passes it off to his teammate Caden Jonas. Jonas all the way down. That puck makes it all the way through to the Manitoba goalie, who decides to cover it and give his team a breath of fresh air.
Once again, these stoppages in play could work in favor of Team Manitoba, who, as we mentioned, played in the quasi-bronze game.
Yeah, that's right. I think it certainly will. So far, they haven't seemed to lack any of the energy at this point. But we'll see how the final 20 minutes will go, as we're falling almost down to the 2-minute mark here now in the second period. Saskatchewan player fell trying to get that puck. That was number 6, Heston Himman. It got by him, goes to the end of the rink. A whistle, as we were talking about, and the puck will be brought all the way back.
Not sure about that icing call, Roger, but in any case, it is an icing.
It is indeed. Good news for Saskatchewan, because it keeps the puck in Manitoba's end zone. Not able to win the face-off, though, as Manitoba now picks it up. They'll bring it up out to center ice. That's number 19 coming in for Manitoba, Connor Roulette. He passes it along the board, trying to get it over to his teammate, who was sort of being manhandled there by a couple of these Saskatchewan players. Now back out to center ice, but stripped almost by number 19, as we mentioned, Roulette. That puck bounced back down, crossed ice by Manitoba. They'll dump it in, and another icing call.
Minute 42 left in this period, but it may seem like a lot more with the amount of whistles we've had in the last 2 minutes or so.
Face-off brought back into the zone of the Team Manitoba. Number 17, Riley DeConey, in for Team Saskatchewan. He's got a couple of defensemen he was hoping to get it back to, wasn't able to. Ethan Bear is in the circle to try to help him out. Does control the puck back of the net, right out in front, and a quick shot from number 14, Riley Garrod there, but that wasn't able to make it through. Now Saskatchewan right out in front of the net again, not able to get a shot. That puck was tried to get out to number 15 of Manitoba, Jaden Posh, who was almost had a break alone. Saskatchewan goalie came way out of his net to play that. And
just about cost him.
Yeah,
too.
it did. He had to get back a bit quicker than he thought he did. Was successful in doing that, but now the puck picked up by Saskatchewan's number 14, Riley Garrod, as we fall under the last minute of the second period here. Quick shot in on the Manitoba goalie, and the puck lying right in the crease, and now a bit of pushing and shoving. One of the Saskatchewan players brought down to the ice, and the officials having to get in between a couple of the other players. Saskatchewan player broke his stick there, so he's over to the bench to get a new one. I don't know that there'll be any calls from the officials on that one, as the players may have settled down enough. 54 seconds now left here in the second.
So the scrum is broken up, and it looks like it will ensue in at least one Team Manitoba penalty.
So the referee did decide to call one from that, Chuck. You're right. The assistant captain, number 9 of Manitoba, Bryden Sinclair, is in the penalty box. So we'll see if Saskatchewan is able to do anything with the 54 seconds left on the clock. They are in Manitoba's zone, so if they're able to win that face-off and get a shot or two from the point, if they fail to score here in the second, at least they'll start the third period with a man advantage.
Bryden Sinclair, 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct.
So Sinclair's unsportsmanlike conduct for 2 minutes. You can bet that Team Manitoba will try to corral that puck in the corner and try to kill off these few seconds left here in the second. It does go back to the point, though. Number 8 of Saskatchewan, Sebastian Higuer, has the puck, just not able to get a shot there. Passes over, trying to get that player out in front. They do, and wow, nice attempt
block
there.
there.
A block from number 5 of Manitoba, Carrion Cook, or else that puck may have made it through. And some more pushing and shoving going on in the corner there, Chuck. The officials in there fairly quickly, and this last 5 or 8 minutes of the second period is taking longer than a full entire period, with the amount of whistles in the sense of icing, and getting a little chippy now. We expect to maybe see that in the third period, especially if the score still remains at its 4-1 lead as it sits right now for Manitoba. .6 is what's left on the clock. Should give Saskatchewan an opportunity or two to get a shot away. If they win the faceoff, they do. A couple of their players making their way to the net. That goes off the glove of one of Team Manitoba's players, so bounces back over the corner, back to the point. Higuer there. Oh, nice shot there. Tip. They knew exactly what they wanted there, but just not able to control it enough, and that will bring the second period to a close. So after 40 minutes of the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships, it is Team Manitoba leading Saskatchewan by a score of 4-1.
And when we return to the third period, Team Manitoba will be shorthanded for just over 1 minute, Roger.
That's right, Chuck. So we'll look forward to see how the teams will play that one out at the start of the third.
All right, we're going to throw things over to our reporter Connor Trombley right now. We're going to be speaking with a couple of drummers, Connor.
Absolutely. My name's Connor, and I'm with
Number 2, Hunter Blake getting the goal.
And can you tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing tonight at the hockey games?
Number 20, Ethan Bear with
We're drumming out all of the teams for their medals. So we're trying to encourage the teams to dance and in their traditional style, whatever that may look like. And we're singing our own traditional songs from this area for them to dance to.
And you guys are members of the Dequaquan Dancers as well. How long have you been doing this? I've heard been doing it worldwide at different events.
We've been dancing our whole life. We're really honored to be part of the Dequaquan Dancers, and they travel all around Canada and the world dancing. We aren't representing them this evening, but we definitely practice with them all the time. So.
And there's a lot that goes into this. You guys practice every Monday. Can you just tell us a little bit about the rehearsal and commitment you guys have for the group?
Oh, well, everyone in the dance group kind of has their own connection with dancing, and everybody loves to do it. So it's, we get together and we just sing all of our favorite songs. We just think of the ones that we know, who wants to sing what, and we just sing and dance until we get tired and then make a plan for what we're going to do next.
Is there a common theme to the drumming and the dancing? Does each person have their own component to make it kind of one unified performance?
Well, we practice majority of the clinket aspects of song and dance. And so like we're incorporating other nations into our group, obviously. We're so mixed these days, right? And so we're trying to incorporate everybody as we can. Our common thread though is that we all have clinket ancestry somewhere in our lineage. And a lot of the coastal people in our group and stuff like that, they share that same commonality. So that's what we work from.
And are there any upcoming big events you guys are going to be at this coming summer?
We're actually one of the headliners for Winnipeg for National Aboriginal Day, which is such a dream to dance for our own people at such a big event. So we're very, very honored and excited to practice for that.
Well, thanks again for joining us, and thanks for also being part of the tournament.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. And Shona FM will also be doing National Indigenous Day also later in June 21st. So it'll be exciting events going on. Chuck, back to you.
All right. Thanks very much, Connor, and thank you.
life back to the team, but we'll have to see how the final few minutes plays out. Of course, Saskatchewan starting this contest, as you mentioned, at the end of the second with a man advantage, as number 9 from Manitoba is in the penalty box, Bryden Sinclair. So Saskatchewan with the man advantage, but Manitoba equal to the task. They send it all the way down, and Saskatchewan starts to bring it up out of their own zone. Only 26 seconds left in that penalty that we speak about. Number 8, Sebastian Higuer, is in the Manitoba zone, holding it on to it along the sides of the boards, passes it back to his teammate back behind the net, Himman. He tries to go across the ice with it, does, and just a little bit too far. 16, Kershaw Gervais was not really in place to accept that pass, so it goes all the way down into Saskatchewan zone. Penalty is over. Manitoba is at even strength. They are back on the ice as Saskatchewan dumps it in, almost at the linesman there. He was forced to duck, and that puck goes in and around the net. Fighting along the boards on the far side is number 16, Kershaw Gervais from Saskatchewan, as the puck trickles through across the ice. Now still dumped in back of the Manitoba net, controlled by number 22, Boston Bird of Saskatchewan. He gets it out. Nice attempt by number 21, Aaron Greyeyes. That just went off his stick, and Saskatchewan putting a little bit of pressure on here now early in the third. Exactly something that their coaching staff has asked them to do, I'm sure. And a quick shot on the Manitoba goalie, and he's forced to cover. So good start to the third period for Team Saskatchewan.
Again, Softball Yukon is a proud supporter of the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships, and they wish all teams much success and safe travels home.
And of course, happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers listening into the broadcast throughout the territory. Still your day, at least till midnight or so tonight. So enjoy the final few hours. Hopefully you enjoyed your day with family and friends, and listening into some great hockey, some great women's finals in the bronze medal game, with Saskatchewan picking up a big win to pick up the gold here. Unfortunately, their Saskatchewan male counterparts not doing quite as successful, trailing here by a few goals. That puck all the way down in Saskatchewan zone, but it was an offside, so will be brought out just past the blue line.
Still early in the period, though, but with the momentum that Team Manitoba is showing thus far in the game, Saskatchewan's got an uphill battle.
They do, and have come out on a good start, though. Hasn't resulted yet in a goal here in the third period, but that's what they're hoping for. Aaron Greyeyes back in behind the net. Cabe Delaney tried to get it over to. That puck out to the blue line, but now controlled by Manitoba as they come in on a 3-on-1. Quick shot there from Manitoba. The goaltender, though, from Saskatchewan came well out of his net to make that save. And now a whistle goes behind the net. Net came off its moorings was the reason for that call. Both teams will do a complete change. Referees, head referee Josh Albonetti is wearing the stripes, as is Corey Coop. And the two linesmen, Josh Long and Nick Abbonetti, had a busy second period. The officials will see how it plays out here in the third as time ticks away. Saskatchewan controlling the puck. They send it up to center ice, but not able to gain much control of it. It's dumped back in for Manitoba. They'll just try to continue the same play that they have in the last 40 minutes or so to wind down the clock and pick up that gold medal. Hardware being introduced just off to our right for the gold, silver, and bronze teams, and some valuable player awards. Some beautiful carvings will soon be handed out in the closing ceremonies of the tournament. Icing call there, so be brought back into Saskatchewan zone. Manitoba making a complete line change. And in to take the face-off for Manitoba will be number 16, Yeager Lapointe. He's got number 7 and number 4 on defense for Manitoba in the back. The official kicking out the Saskatchewan player from the playoff circle. It's won by Saskatchewan. They now will bring it out to center ice. That was number 20, Ethan Bear. He lost it, though. Manitoba back in, getting it right out in front of the net, but that puck goes up high and bounces out past the blue line. Controlling now at the blue line is Saskatchewan as they come. One Saskatchewan player, number 17, has lost his stick. That still brings in a couple of Saskatchewan players, but the puck bouncing there, Chuck, so not able to get a shot on it from either of the Two Saskatchewan players back to number 14 now. Evan Herman for Manitoba. He dumps it in, going in after his own rebound. Now picked up by number 13, Nakadon Grey Eyes. He doesn't have much help though along the backboards. Saskatchewan trying to gain control of it, just not able to. Wraparound attempt there from Team Manitoba. They were able to keep it in, but now Saskatchewan knocks it down. Brought back in. Large slap shot there off the right-hand side from number 5 of Manitoba, Carey and Cook. Now here comes back Saskatchewan. Up forward, shot on net, but an easy save for the Manitoba netminder as that stops the play with 15:48 now left here in the third, and a 4-1 lead for Team Manitoba.
Just over 15 and a half minutes left here in this third period.
Face-off won by Saskatchewan. Got it back to the point, but went a little too far, so not able to get a shot on that play. All the way back behind Team Manitoba's net. Number 8, Matthew Mason Vandell has the puck. He tries to get it up to Jaden Boz, but no luck there. It does go all the way into the zone, though, of Manitoba. Hard check along the board there, and the Saskatchewan player rather slow in getting up there. Another good hard check along the board there, so getting a little rough here. Out in front, quick shot from Manitoba. That goes off the player's stick, though, from Saskatchewan and all the way back down into Manitoba's zone. They will send it all the way back down, tried to make the pass, but a icing call and a few chippy plays in the last minute or so there as well, Chuck.
Still a margin of 3 goals, though, for Saskatchewan to make up. 4-1 currently for Team Manitoba.
And getting a little harder to do as almost 5 minutes is off the clock here in the third. They had a couple of good scoring chances, came out very strong in the third period at the start, but as you said, hasn't resulted in any goals as of yet. Number 19 for Saskatchewan, Aston Lamont, is in there to take the face-off. He wins it, gets it back to his defensive partner, Josh Baer, at the point. Hunter Mayo is caught on the opposite side of the rink. He tries to get back, but here comes Manitoba with the break. They get all the way in, and a nice save by the Saskatchewan goaltender there as Baer was caught on the wrong side of the rink of his defensive partner there. Again, another quick shot from Manitoba, and there they take the shot and score, Chuck. That looked as though it might have been a little high, but the referee was in the perfect spot and is going to allow it as a goal. Doesn't seem to be much of a call from Saskatchewan there, but it looked as though that was a little high, but it appears that checking the replay, it is going to be credited with a goal. So it is Manitoba now all over Saskatchewan, 5-1 with 14:39 left here in the third.
And as you can imagine, the Team Manitoba bench is jubilant.
They are sensing gold at this point, Chuck. They'll have to play out the remaining period without giving up too many costly goals.
Goal.
Still a little early to try to kill the clock, though, with 14 minutes left. But they will certainly try to keep their passes within the middle of the rink if they can. Saskatchewan doing a good job, though, and keeping it in, keeping the pressure on.
To number 9, Bryden Sinclair.
Sinclair in on that goal, as you hear from the background announcer. Manitoba tried to break through, and 2 Saskatchewan players took them down. Hit hard along the boards, the 2 players there, so getting a bit rougher here, Chuck. We'll have to see if the officials will crack down in any sense. Almost after every play, there's a little stick or a jab or some verbal comments coming back. Manitoba pointing number 11, wondering why 2 Saskatchewan players hammered him at center ice and no call from the officials there. But .13:49 now left here in the third. 5-1 with Manitoba well out in front of Saskatchewan in what has still been a very good game for a final matchup here. Saskatchewan player losing a stick. That was number 12, Cabe Delaney. Tried to get it over to Riley Garrod, but that one a little too far. Josh Baer now controlling back of the net. Tries to get it out to his defensive partners. He is hammered along the boards, but doesn't seem any worse for the wear.
Saskatchewan throwing a few more checks here in this third period.
Yeah, and I think more out of frustration, maybe more than anything, Chuck. They were hoping for a better performance from themselves in this gold medal game, but fell behind early and just not able to catch up. Manitoba started off strong and may have fell a little lackadaisy in the second period there for a bit. That's when Saskatchewan scored their lone goal at this point, but they are certainly back in the contest here now. Saskatchewan controlling the puck, just not able to get any type of quality shot on the Manitoba netminder. And that now is brought out by Manitoba, and here they come. Number 23 coming in, breakaway alone, and tried to do a backhand. Great save by the Saskatchewan netminder. That's Joseph Young, who came in halfway through this competition. Started off, Saskatchewan did, with Tanner Martin in the net, but head coach had decided to make a change at one point, and certainly a good game as far as Joseph Young is concerned from at least his standpoint. Saskatchewan now, nice blast there from the corner. Unfortunately, didn't go that far for Brett Cameron. Back out to center ice, attempted side step from the Manitoba player. That will go all the way back. He sends it up to center ice, and number 14 of Manitoba, Ethan Herman, will dump it in. Right out in front of the Saskatchewan netminder. A couple players taking a stab at that puck, but not able to get any further with it. Now Saskatchewan will bring it back, and they dump it in the net. That's number 25 for Saskatchewan going in, Brett Cameron. One of the taller players on Team Saskatchewan. We're talking about the sizes between the two teams, and now Manitoba's goalie decides to hold on to it, and that will bring a stoppage in play.
Game opening up a little bit now. Well, Saskatchewan has to open it up with a 4-goal deficit at this point.
They do. Certainly offensively, they need to pepper that net as much as they can in the next 11 minutes or so, Chuck, to try to attempt to bring this closer, but pretty hard to come back from a 4-goal deficit at this point with Manitoba playing as well as they have. Puck is being pushed back and forth center ice between Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Manitoba now takes control of it in their own zone. Tries to get it over to number 8, Matthew Mason Vandell. He shoots it up ice, but picked up by Saskatchewan's number 7, Danton Hurray. And now number 18 for Saskatchewan, Chase Berlow, brings it in. And back around the point. Ethan Ironside tried to get it back to his defense, but that puck went past the blue line and is at center ice. And in fact, Saskatchewan forced to bring it back into their own zone. Some good effort there from number 15, Jaden Posh of Manitoba, to force a couple of the Saskatchewan players back. Cross ice pass there, just a little too wide. Now it will be picked up by Manitoba as they bring it out. Up to center ice. Drop it off for the defenseman. A shot far and wide there. Goes well around the rink and out to center ice. Manitoba dumps it back in. Coming up to the 10-minute mark here of the third period, as Manitoba continues to lead Saskatchewan 5-1. They break out at center ice. Cross ice pass up to number 16, Kershaw Gervais. He's not able to do much with it. Oh, tried to get that open pass to the Manitoba player breaking down that right-hand side. Now Saskatchewan comes back. Nice couple of quick little moves from Aaron Greyeyes there. Gets in and gets a shot on the netminder for Manitoba. Another one there. Back out to Greyeyes, and wow, what a glove save by the Manitoba goalie there, Chuck, to save a goal.
Yeah, really nice save. Just over 9.5 minutes left to go in this game. The gold medal game in this 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championship.
You can hear the appreciation from the fans on that save. A couple of his teammates going over and congratulating the Manitoba goalie there. Braden Melstead certainly saved his team a goal here in the third. Beautiful glove save. Saskatchewan still controlling it. They know what they want to do. Still pester that net with shots. That one almost resulted in a goal, but right now Manitoba is bringing it out, trying to make that long pass to get the breakaway, and it goes a bit too far, and that results in an icing call.
Well, we're into our 8 o'clock hour, Raj. 12-hour day for many people here so far.
It has an
Or
early
more.
start. This is the conclusion of 4 games that we brought to you on Shone FM today. So a long day, but certainly an enjoyable one at the Bikini Arena. Some great hockey action. Lots of camaraderie between the players and the fans. We had the ladies' final ceremonies earlier today and the awards presentation. And right at the conclusion of this game, we will have the men's medal ceremony as well. We'll bring that to you on Shone FM as well. So stick around for that, and then that will bring it to a conclusion for the 2019 Aboriginal Championships being held in our city of Whitehorse. Right now, Manitoba gloved the puck down and have got it ahead. Number 13 forcing back, that's Grey Eyes, forcing back a couple of the Saskatchewan players with the puck. Right now, number 16, Jaeger Lapointe, picks it up. He brings it in and does a quick shot. That goes off one of the players from Saskatchewan, though, and high into the roof area of the Bikini Arena. A bit of pushing and shoving, but the linesmen are over there to separate the players, both teams making a complete change.
Face off to the left of the Team Saskatchewan goalie.
Final night for the teams in our territory. I think all of them scheduled to leave tomorrow throughout the day. Some officials leaving on Tuesday, though, that I was speaking with, but the bulk of the players will be leaving. Some have already left the territory on flights earlier tonight, and we'll see the rest of the teams start departing our city tomorrow. So,
Team Alberta for sure, Roger.
that is one of them for sure that is already gone. Chuck, that pass right out in front, but brought down by Manitoba. They get it all the way ahead to number 21, Shakwa Schwan, but he wasn't able to do much with it. Now Saskatchewan brings it back up to center ice, poke it up onto the stick of number 5 of Manitoba, Carrion Cook. He comes in, loses it though to Saskatchewan, knocked down. Wasn't with a high stick, so the officials will continue to let that play. 3 or 4 players now trying to get control of that puck just outside the blue line of Saskatchewan in front of their bench all the way down. No icing called as Manitoba gets it on their stick. A quick shot there, all the way back down into Saskatchewan zone. 7:30 now left here in the third, and not much scoring chances at either end. It seems the teams are trying to get that perfect pass, Chuck, and that one resulted in an icing. So Saskatchewan desperately needing to add a goal or 2 here, and I'm sure Manitoba hoping just to play out the remaining 7:25.
Yeah, a lot of stretch passes that are leading up to icing calls right now.
And it looks as though there is a timeout called,
Saskatchewan's
Chuck.
called their 30-second timeout.
So a 30-second timeout for Team Saskatchewan as the players head over to their respective benches to get the final few words from their coaching staff to how to play out the remainder 7:25.
Reminder, Softball Yukon, proud sponsor of these National Aboriginal Hockey Championships, along with Shone FM, and pleased to bring you the closing ceremonies as well, which will be right after this game.
And as we said, the hardware not that far from our broadcast booth here. We see all the beautiful medals and the hand-carved trophies and prizes that will be handed out here momentarily.
Just over 7 minutes left in the game.
Referee allowing the final changes for Team Manitoba. Face-off won by Saskatchewan, but quickly gained control by Manitoba. They're able to keep it in their zone. That's number 8, Matthew Mason Vandell, who had a decent shot there. Now a couple of the players got caught behind the scenes. There's that breakaway that we talked about that was almost a potential one. Icing waved off on it, so it will be Manitoba controlling the puck in their own zone. They finally break it out thanks to the efforts of Jaden Posh. He's in. He's going to try to get a shot, Chuck, but that one was just wide of the net and curves in behind the Saskatchewan goalie. A puck across ice, tried to get it to number 15 of Manitoba, Jaden Posh, but again, he was just a little too offside. Number 18 of Saskatchewan trying to sneak in well behind several of the Manitoba players, but he had to make it back in order to get back on side. He gains the puck there now. That's Chase Berlow. He's taken in hard to the board, but is up as quick as he went down. And Manitoba now, cross ice pass, getting caught on there. Quick shot there. And the Manitoba goaltender forced to make a save as one of his teammates made one of those dangerous passes right across the crease. However, the goalie helped out his partner there.
I'm quite happy with the Manitoba goalie, as I'm sure the rest of their team are.
Yeah, he's done well. Let in only one goal up to this point and has made a couple of good saves. Certainly Saskatchewan has seen the bulk of play in their end, and it does reflect on the scoreboard with 5 goals for Manitoba now, with just over 6 minutes left here in this final gold medal game. And Manitoba controls the puck again at center ice, and now in Saskatchewan's blue line. That puck is shot across ice, picked up by Saskatchewan, and I think that Saskatchewan will be getting a penalty on this call, Chuck, as number 10 heads over to the penalty box. That's Ethan Ironside. Not sure what the call will be, but I'm sure it will be a 2-minute minor, and that isn't what the coaching staff had talked about in their timeout, I can assure you.
It's a 4-minute penalty, and the frustration is starting to show now in the Saskatchewan players.
Yeah, that's a costly one.
No penalty.
So we'll see if Manitoba, a nice glove save there by the
Ethan
Saskatchewan
Ironside.
goalie. Nice round
4
of
minutes
applause
for
from the
spearing.
fans on that one.
Time the penalty, 14
That one was a
minutes, 8
spearing
seconds.
penalty, Chuck, so dangerous
Saskatchewan
penalty
Ironside.
there, and we'll
4
see
for
if
spearing.
Manitoba is able to capitalize on it. They certainly don't need to, goal-wise. And
Well,
there's a quick shot that went off the goaltender's stick and almost at far post. Despite with that lead, they aren't giving up. Chuck putting a good effort and hitting the goaltender with a few more good shots.
But as we mentioned earlier in our broadcast, Roger, if they do achieve a 5-goal margin, that clock will continue to run.
Yeah, that is correct. And they are just 1 goal away from the potential of that coming into play here at the Bikini Arena. That puck attempted to be cleared by Saskatchewan and up over the board, so another stoppage in play with the 5:17 now left.
Way down to the time box by about 2 minutes to go. All the VIP and award presenters, please start making your way down to the time box for the award presentation following the conclusion of this game. Thank you.
And we will be covering the closing ceremonies for you as well.
That puck is iced all the way down by Saskatchewan. They're allowed to do so without getting penalized as the player sits in the penalty box for a 4-minute penalty for spearing, and that will only allow about 2 minutes left in this contest that the teams will have an even strength. There's Manitoba, and a couple of nice shots there. Hard hit along the boards there between the two teams. And here goes Saskatchewan. They're going to get another slashing penalty. It's going to be number 16 who took a slash against number 15. They're calling both, which a little surprised on that one. Certainly number 16. You'll see it over in the far corner of the boards there. I guess you won't on the replay, but certainly 16 was going to get a slashing penalty. We'll have to see what's called on number 15. Jaden Posh of Manitoba. I didn't see that one, but certainly number 16, Kishad Gervais of Saskatchewan, deserved the penalty he got. So frustration, I think, in the latter part of this game on Saskatchewan for sure.
Absolutely, Roger. And you could tell from the demeanor in the penalty box, sticks getting whacked against the glass and so on. Players
still chatting back and forth between each other. So 4:48 now left. The face-off in Manitoba zone. It's won by Saskatchewan. Nice quick shot
number
there
16, Keyshawn Gervais.
went wide.
2 minutes for slashing. To
So
Team Manitoba's number 15, Jaden Pash. 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct.
So Pash for unsportsmanlike conduct. Didn't see what transpired there, but the referees did, and that's what counts. So those players will be in the penalty box. We'll see if the referees are busier as the last 4 minutes or so wind down in this competition. Back to the point. Manitoba tried to make a long shot there, but puck was a little wobbly going on to the stick of the Manitoba player. He didn't get everything he wanted on it. They're coming back, though, not giving up. Chuck, number 19 for Manitoba, brings it in. Connor Roulette, he's had a good game here. One of the Manitoba players knocked down at their own blue line. And they're just trying to set up that perfect shot on the goalie. There, makes it through, but another good quick shot there, and Saskatchewan goalie was able to catch his own rebound there and stop the clock with 3:42 left.
Again, 5-1, a commanding lead for Team Manitoba.
Starting to see some of the officials and dignitaries assemble off to our right. Mayor Dan Curtis, John Stryker is in the house to help hand out the hardware following the conclusion of this game. The one penalty that had 4 minutes for spearing is down to 1:48, so it will allow the teams to play full strength for a short period. That puck, a blistering one that went in past the goaltender and up into the crowd, so another souvenir and another stoppage of play. So as time winds down, it will no doubt be Manitoba picking up the gold medal in the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships. The silver will go to Saskatchewan and British Columbia, ending up with the bronze medal in a surprise move that nobody thought would happen, with Team Alberta now out of the competition. Saskatchewan controlling the puck. Although unfortunately number 21 of Saskatchewan, Aaron Grey Eyes, didn't have much help to pass the puck to. Hunter Mayo now is trying to bring it in, kept in by Saskatchewan, but they'll make a line change here, and that leaves the puck all alone in Manitoba's zone. Here comes Team BC in front of us, Chuck, as they start moving over towards the medal area. They'll soon be out on the ice surface, so all patting the glove of the Manitoba player, allowing BC to get in the
Bronze medal.
The bronze medal, so a little thanks from the players there. And that is whistled down as a offside. A little bit more pushing and shoving between the two teams, and I think that's going to result in another penalty. Again, this one going to Saskatchewan, so some frustration coming out from Team Saskatchewan here late in this contest as they trail by 4 goals, 2:27 left.
Yes, it is late in this contest.
Face off just off to the left of the Saskatchewan netminder. It is won by Manitoba. They're coming in. The Saskatchewan goalie well out to make that play, and fortunate that he did. It would have been a wide open net.
Saskatchewan penalty, Edger, 2 for cross-checking.
Cross-checking penalty to Saskatchewan at 17:33. That will have Team Manitoba virtually play out this game with the man advantage, other than about 30 seconds or so at the end. Quick shot there from Manitoba, 2 of them, and they score. So the penalty to number 10 from Saskatchewan cost his team there. And now a 6-1 lead here late in the third. And really the only game that has sort of got away. The other games were extremely close up to this point, but a fairly good margin now separates Team Manitoba over Saskatchewan.
I think it's safe to say that that bronze medal game didn't hurt Team Manitoba at all.
No, in fact, in hindsight, probably helped them from what we see here at the moment. And the face-off now at center ice. Manitoba well in front of Saskatchewan here. They are looking at the clock for sure, waiting for the 2 minutes to wind down so they can claim the pride of saying they are the best Aboriginal men's hockey team in the country. And they have certainly proven it here tonight with a flurry of goals. Shows 5-1, but I think they have yet to change that score clock up to 6, if I'm not mistaken, Chuck. But the goaltender bounces that puck, makes a save for Manitoba there. So the faceoff will now be in Manitoba's zone. Minute 10 left on the penalty to Saskatchewan, so be about 20 minutes or 20 seconds, sorry, that each team will play with even strength unless something's called in the next few minutes. And because of that 6-1 lead, Chuck, as we mentioned, the clock now will run down. They do that after any team is ahead by 5 goals, and that is happening here late in the third, so that clock won't stop unless a penalty is called here in the contest. So Saskatchewan controlling in their own zone, passing it up to number 19, that's Austin Lamont. He brings it in, quick wrist shot there, but well wide of the net. That goes around the point, and we are in the final minute of the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships. It's going to be Manitoba going on to a victory over Saskatchewan as they still control the puck here. They bring it in all around Saskatchewan's net, but it looks as though that they are just attempting to kill the clock off here, Chuck. In fact, even Saskatchewan isn't going after the puck. They are just waiting for the clock to wind down as well. You'll hear the countdown from some of the fans, and then a pretty good round of applause from the crowd here for both these teams in the championship. It was an early start on the scoreboard for Team Manitoba, and they never really looked back from Team Saskatchewan after that. And they will pick up the victory. Quick shot there. Goaltender pounces down to make the save, but they'll let the clock run out. And it is Team Manitoba over Saskatchewan. They've won the gold.
Sticks flying 20 feet up and helmet.
The best in the country can be bragged about by Manitoba. They picked up a well-deserved victory over Saskatchewan here at the Dakini Arena, 6-1 in what is the final game of the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships. As you said, sticks and gloves all over the ice. Both teams congratulating each other. They'll meet at center ice for the ceremonial handshakes, and then we'll get on to the closing ceremonies and the awards here at the Dakini Arena.
As you say, Roger, Manitoba with that early lead never let up and just kept the foot on the gas.
Yeah, that's right. Saskatchewan was never really in the contest. They scored that one goal midway through the second. It was not a bad first period, 2-0 at the end of the first, but it wasn't long after that Manitoba started to pull away from Saskatchewan. But certainly they don't need to hang their heads in shame. Saskatchewan, they get the silver. They beat many teams to make it to this point. That's the other thing to remember. You know, 46 games played throughout this tournament, so it took a long time to get here. So I know it's never nice to savor the silver after not winning the gold, but Saskatchewan deserves to be in the final here and did well.
So both teams shaking each other's hands right now and congratulating each other, Team Manitoba and Team Saskatchewan, as the two referees and linesmen look on.
And as we mentioned, this tournament started off in the year 2002, and 17 years in the making, finally brings it for the first time north of the 60th parallel, and it winds up here in Yukon. And the players, organizers, host committees couldn't be more delighted to have a tournament of this caliber in our city, Chuck, using both venues, Dakini Arena, Stan McGowan, Stan McGowan. I'm sort of aging myself there, aren't I? Canada Games Center. Over the past week or so, and to the conclusion that we have here with Manitoba winning the gold. Saskatchewan winning the gold for the women. That team is still here. They were cheering on their men as they were playing. And we will tune in to house announcer Ryan Mann as he starts the closing ceremonies here at the Dakini Arena. We now have Team British Columbia walking onto the ice surface to receive their award here.
Again, for the girls, it was Saskatchewan winning the gold medal, Manitoba the silver, and BC the bronze. So Team Manitoba all hugging each other at their respective blue lines. And Team BC behind them, congratulating them.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get this out of the way. It's time now for the selection of today's players of the game. The player of the game for Team Saskatchewan, number 16, Keyshawn Gervais.
So Gervais, whose name you heard lots, had a good game for Saskatchewan, but not able to muster the medal that he had wanted. You can see it in his face. Chuck, disappointment there, but...
And the player of the game for Team Manitoba with the hat trick, number 19, Connor Roulette.
Connor Roulette, who had a good game this one. You heard the hat trick and did well in the game previously as well. Picks up the player of the game for Manitoba. And we'll now head on to the medal presentations.
Being presented, each player's being presented with a jersey from Michelle Dawson-Beatty of the host organization.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center ice for this evening's presentation of the Male Division Championship for the 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championships. I would first like to start by acknowledging that we are on the traditional territory of the Kwanlin Dun First Nation and the Tom Gwitchin Council. Please join me in acknowledging our special guests for the presentation. Representing the Yukon government, Minister of Community Services, John Stryker.
John Stryker making his way out onto the ice.
Grand Chief of the Council of Yukon First Nations, Peter Johnston.
Peter being accompanied by his 2 children.
The Mayor of the City of Whitehorse, His Eminence Dan Curtis. The Chair of the 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championship Working Group, Mr. Jeff Spencer. And the Chair of the 2019 NAHC Host Committee, Michelle Dawson-Beatty. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in congratulating our bronze medal winners in the male division, Team British Columbia.
That, of course, happened by default as Team Alberta was
in the
essentially
Yukon, the tradition with our Yukon First Nations
booted
hockey
out
is
of
that
the
we will
tournament.
drum for you and you will dance as you would in your traditional territory for your medal.
Team BC dancing over to receive their medals.
Presenting the bronze medals on behalf of the City of Whitehorse, Mayor Dan Curtis.
So as you mentioned, Team BC getting their bronze medals from Mayor Dan Curtis, leaving the ice surface, heading back to the bleacher area, and ceremonies and medals will be soon handed out to Team Manitoba and Team Saskatchewan. Again, a decisive victory for Team Manitoba over Team Saskatchewan here in the final contest by a score of 6-1. A couple of quick goals right off the first period from Manitoba, and never really looked back. Most of the other final games in the tournament didn't see much scoring until the second period in many of the cases, but Manitoba coming out right off the bat and winning the top prize of them all. BC has now been awarded their medals, the silver medals, now making it to the ice surface.
Chief Peter Johnston.
That will be presented to
Our silver
the
medal
province
winners in
of
the male
Saskatchewan.
division, Team Saskatchewan.
And the Grand Chief must be a Cleveland Indian fan, Roger, because he's wearing their ball cap.
Ah, good for him. And here comes Team Saskatchewan to receive the silver medal, and unfortunately, Chuck, not a lot of smiles on the faces of the players there.
No, but like you say, they played a good game, a feisty game, and like you said, it took quite a bit for them to make it to where they are.
Yeah, it certainly did. A number of games to get to this point, and you never think of the teams that don't make it to this point.
Well, ours didn't, that's for sure.
No, that's right. Unfortunately, the North and both the male and female competitors were knocked out of the tournament, but Saskatchewan did make it into the final game, but just came up with some pretty tough competition from Manitoba. And then we'll hear a good round of applause from the players and all of the officials and the crowd at the Dakini Arena when Team Manitoba comes forward to pick up the ultimate prize in hockey and bring home the gold medal back to the province of Manitoba. So the players have received their medals. Now it's the time for the officials and head coaches of Team Saskatchewan to receive theirs. And as I mentioned, we'll then head on to Team Manitoba as Peter Johnstone is awarding the officials with their medals.
Let's hear it for silver medal winning Team Saskatchewan. And now to present the gold medals, please welcome back on behalf of the Yukon government, the Minister of Community Services, Mr. John Stryker. Our gold medal winners of the 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championships in the male division, Team Manitoba.
So Manitoba now coming forward, and there are smiles on those players' faces, Chuck, as they are picking up the gold medal of the 2019 Aboriginal Hockey Championships, taking those medals back to Manitoba and their respective communities. All of these teams that make up the Aboriginal Hockey Championships will break up after this tournament, go back to their respective teams throughout the provinces that they represent. Some of the players will be back next year. As we know, some of the players from the various teams, once they reach the age of 18, will no longer qualify for the Aboriginal Championships between the ages of 15 and 18. So some friendships were certainly made over the last week or so, and friendships that will last a lifetime once they return.
Pictures being taken now as well of Team Saskatchewan, and Team Manitoba no doubt will follow.
Players have their awards. It's now time for
Ladies
the
and gentlemen, your 2019
officials to
champions,
receive theirs
Team
from
Manitoba.
Manitoba.
And now to present the championship trophy and banner, please welcome back to the ice the chair of the 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championship Working Group, Mr. Jeff Spencer, and the chair of the 2019 NAHC Host Committee, Michelle Dawson-Beatty. The Turtle Island Cup was the official trophy of the National Aboriginal Hockey Championship. It was carved by Mr. Kerry Newman, a Master Coast Salish carver from Vancouver Island. The teams will be getting a replica trophy for today's celebration. At this time, I'd like to call upon the Manitoba captain, number 13, Nakotan Grey Eyes, and their assistants, number 9, Brian Sinclair, number 19, Connor Roulette, and number 15, Jaden Pash. Please come forward.
So the captain and assistant captains of Team Manitoba coming forward to accept the trophy here on behalf of their team and their province. Chuck.
And a flag out there as well, as you could imagine, the provincial flag of Manitoba draped around one of the players. Pictures being taken now of the winning team, along with the Grand Chief and Michelle Dawson-Beatty, as well as Jeff Spencer, Whitehorse Mayor Dan Curtis, and Community Services Minister John Stryker.
All right, gentlemen, another round of applause, please, for all our medal winners and all the participants in the male division of the 2019 NAHC.
A reminder that these closing ceremonies are being brought to you by the
All right, ladies and
Kwame
gentlemen, we're
Dunn
going to
First
move on
Nation.
now to the individual awards. For the top forwards, male and female, I'd like to call on our premier sponsor, Kilrich, from Kilrich Building Supplies, Mr. Rob Fordham. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm being told it's Scott McDonald from Kilrich. Please come forward. The winner of the top forward from the female division, from Team North, Kira McDonald.
Top female, Kira McDonald from Team North for the ladies, receiving a nice prize there, Chuck, or just about to.
All right, accepting on her behalf will be the manager of Team North. Unfortunately, she couldn't be in attendance today. And the winner of the top forward from the male division, from Team Manitoba, Connor Roulette.
Connor had a great game in the last 2 games here today, Chuck. Good tournament as well, and picks up a individual prize there.
All right, Roger, we understand Connor Trombley has an interview lined up. Connor?
Absolutely. I'm with Hayden
And now
here.
we'll
They're a
call
big
on Mr.
off,
Randy Henderson.
huge win today, 4-1, 6-1 actually. What contributed to your success this evening?
I think all the boys came together at the right time. I mean, we had a game this morning, and we had to get through that one first, and now we're here, and we're national champions, and it feels amazing.
We really saw you guys take off in the third period, momentum swaying your way, and you kind of widened that lead. What happened there? Can you just describe us a little bit what went on there?
Yeah, the boys bought into what we asked of them. They bought into the system, they bought into our plan, and it paid off in the end. It's a great feeling.
Was it more of an offensive strategy, more disciplined strategy? Can you just elaborate a little more on what gave you the gold medal today?
Defensive strategy for sure. Through good defense comes offense. We want to take care of our D zone first, and we did that.
Well, congratulations again on a gold medal. What a performance.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, that was the head assistant coach with Team Manitoba.
Thank you, Connor. We're continuing with the closing ceremonies here at the 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championship at the Takini Arena.
And now
Chuck
present
Kendry
the
along
top
with
goalie
Roger Gallagher.
awards from the NAHC host committee. Michelle Dawson-Beatty. The top goaltender from the female division. From Team Eastern, Dora North, Amy Lee Duchesne Pettigay.
Once again, these closing ceremonies are being brought to you by the Kwamondun First Nation.
And the top goaltender from the male side, from Team North, Liam Taraposky. And now to present the most sportsmanlike player from both sides, from premier sponsor Victoria Gold Corp, Kelly Parker. The most sportsmanlike player from the female division, from Team Saskatchewan, Scout Anderson. And the most sportsmanlike player from the male side, from Team British Columbia, Ross Rollison. And now for the most sportsmanlike team awards, from premier sponsor Air North Yukon's Airline, Mr. Ben Ryan. The most sportsmanlike team from the female side, Team North.
And that award being accepted by the manager of Team North, at least the women's.
Yes, that's
manager.
right.
And the most sportsmanlike team from the male division, Team Eastern Dora North.
All right, we're going to go to Connor Trombley right now, who's got another interview. Connor?
Absolutely. I'm here with Tim, the head coach for Team Saskatchewan. Can you just describe how you're feeling with the silver medal here at the tournament this year?
Oh, a little confusing, right? We didn't really know how the structure was because, like I said, we were supposed to play Team Alberta, and it would have been nice to play them for that silver medal and playing the bronze medal winner for winning the goal. So it's kind of a confusing process right now. I'm trying to just understand and figure out what all took place, because it's tough when a team sits and a team plays the game before, so they have a little bit of leeway. But my boys played well, and like I said, we're proud to be going home with the silver medal. And like I said, the boys really played hard, and like I said, it just was a different structure and a different morning because we didn't really understand what was all going on, and like I said, I try to keep my boys out of it, but like I said, it's just such a confusing process that took place.
Can you just describe that team change that did occur? Did it change the momentum or the strategy with the last minute for you guys heading into the final game?
Well, what we were preparing to play Team Alberta. We watched videos for Team Alberta and try to figure everything out. But like I said, at the end, when we got to the rink, we were playing Team Manitoba, so we didn't really watch any videos and prepare what we were playing against.
And just going back a few years, can you just describe Team Saskatchewan's performances, this year in comparison to 2 or 3 years past?
Yeah, it's like I said, last year to this year, we had some good hardworking kids. I'm proud of all of them for representing our province. They did their best, and like I said, I'm proud of each one of those boys for what they brought and represented Yukon. Team Saskatchewan, like I said, I'm very proud of what they did on the ice and off the ice. Is like I said, this was a close-knit group, and we're happy for what they accomplished.
And following up, how does it feel being in the Yukon, playing in a territory as opposed to a province? How does it differ playing away from home and so far north?
Well, it was a great educational experience for my team. They've never been this far north. The sun was a little different, at midnight the sun's still up, but like I said, the host was great and everything was just first class here, so it was a nice experience for a lot of our kids coming up to Yukon, and just the hospitality that everybody showed was like I said, excellent, and it's something my boys will never forget.
Well, congratulations and enjoy the rest of your time in the territory.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot. Team Saskatchewan still, despite not winning gold, a strong finish to finish off a second, Chuck.
All right, that was Connor Trombley with the coach of Team Saskatchewan. And again, what the coach, Roger, was referring to is a decision that was made this afternoon by the Aboriginal Sports Circle organizing arm of this 2019 National Aboriginal Hockey Championships to remove Team Alberta after exhausting all other options to rectify an issue with the team were exhausted. And this comes from a statement, and that's all they issued was this statement. They did not want to come on air, so we don't know exactly what those issues were with Team Alberta.
No, Chuck, we'll find out, I'm sure, in the coming days. There does appear that there will be another statement from the organization. I think it had to do something with travel arrangements. I think Team Alberta was hoping that they'd readjust the schedule for today because they had a flight out later tonight, and it was discussed in meetings last night and didn't quite go their way. They had travel commitments to what we understand at this point, so they were forced to leave the tournament. But a good point from the Saskatchewan coach, when you expect to play a team and spend that many hours analyzing that team, and then all of a sudden a couple hours prior to game time it changes. It's not only Alberta, you got to think about the teams as well. So good point by Saskatchewan, and a valid one as well.
Absolutely.
I'm so proud and honored to be with you to recognize the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships.
That is Minister John Stryker.
While we're standing on the traditional territory of the Kwanlin-Dun First Nation and the Ta'an Quechin Council. It's such a great opportunity to recognize all of you as athletes, but also the coaches, your families, the organizers of this event. I'd like to give a huge shout out to the Aboriginal Sports Circle of Canada, the Yukon Aboriginal Sports Circle, and also to Sport Yukon. Can you give them a round of applause, please, because they've done an amazing job to host this tournament. I'd also like to say thanks to the Aboriginal Sports Circle of Northwest Territories because they organized Team North. And while Saskatchewan and Manitoba and BC are big provinces, the North is massive, and it takes a lot to organize a team across 3 territories, so thank you so much to them. I'd also like to thank BC Hockey and Hockey Yukon on our own sport and recreation branch for bringing the Vancouver Canucks Learn to Play and Air North National Aboriginal Hockey Championship School Tour across the Yukon to our communities. We think of ourselves as a series of communities, and it was great that they were here in Carcross, Teslin, Whitehorse, Pelly Crossing, and Carmax, and it was awesome. I was also in awe of the talent and cultural pride we've seen from across Canada on display here this past week. We've witnessed some amazing hockey, some great teamwork, and also sportsmanship. Everyone who gets into sport comes with big dreams. Who doesn't want to be the next Sidney Crosby, the next Haley Wickenheiser, the next Jordan Tutu, the next Carey Price, and the next Dylan Cousins? The lessons and skills you learn in sport, the responsibility of your team and accountability to yourself, you will find that you carry on with you on and off the ice. Makes you better athletes, better people, and it builds all of us. I want to commend all of you, and I want to urge you to keep going. You'll never regret being involved in sport. I know that we only had 1 goal or 2 goals tonight, and it was kind of amazing to see Manitoba and Saskatchewan in both sets of finals. Can I hear it for Saskatchewan and Manitoba, please? It was just awesome to see them both. It's been our absolute pleasure to host you here in the Yukon, north of 60, in the capital of Whitehorse. We hope you'll come back someday. I just want to say thank you. Gonoshish, merci, masicho. Thank you so much. Safe travels.
Community Services Minister John Stryker. We're going to quickly reach out to Connor Trombley, who's with the captain of Team Manitoba.
Absolutely. We're with Nicoden here, and can you just describe us how you're feeling today after a huge win and a huge win this morning?
We're feeling great now. Boys are happy. We knew we should be here all on, and we think we proved that to everybody.
What contributed to your success today? Big win this morning, big win today. What did you guys do right to get the gold medal?
We trust each other, and we know we deserve to be here. We know how good our team was, and we just worked hard.
And what brought you guys together? Did you have a camp beforehand, meet up a month or two before? What helped you guys develop to become the team you are today?
We had a camp in about August last year, so we've been together for a while. We like everybody loves each other and work hard for each other.
And how does it feel being in the territory, competing so far north and being away from home?
It's neat. I love the mountains. It's pretty flat back home, and it's great to be here.
Well, congratulations on your huge win.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That was Nicoden, the captain for Team Manitoba. Chuck.
All right, Michelle Dawson-Beatty, one of the organizers from the organizing committee.
Joined us here for the tournament. We certainly hope that you've enjoyed our time with us and that we'll see you again soon. So safe travels, everyone, and again, thank you.
Now please welcome from the NAHC Working Group Chair, Mr. Jeff Spencer.
"18 years, guys. We're closing down. Feels like the first year all over again in Akwesasne. I'd first like to thank the people of the North, the territories that proudly brought us in to their lands for the championships. Our host committee, Michelle, Echo, Tara, Meg, Carrie, I could name off about 100. You guys were amazing. The people coming out to the games, Kelsey Daler with the Aboriginal Sports Circle, that without her, I'd be saying squirrel a lot. The research team that we had come from Western University that were here at all your games, Dallas, Andy, Kaylee, and Taylor, along with the president of the ASC, Janice Forsyth, and the team that will certainly give us the data required to help us move forward in the most meaningful ways in our communities. To the great ministers I met in Toronto during NAG that said to me, "Jeff, has the event ever been north?" Now I can proudly say, yes, we have. And to the mayor beside him for the welcome we've had here with all the people in the stores. And for me, most of all the fans, the athletes and the coaches, the volunteers, you're what make this happen. We just come along for the ride. Thank you, guys. And I'm going to bring out the chair from this year's host committee, Michelle Dawson-Beatty. And we're just going to slide out the trophy because we are getting ready to announce officially next year's host of the championships. I'm looking for a friend of mine from SAS to come on over here, Ken. And your captain, both of you come on over, Ken. There's two things we're going to do here at the same time, I think, so we can wrap up. And then we will have a prayer prior to the celebration, boys. At the end, we'll have a prayer before we let you go off and celebrate. So, from our host of 2019, you guys come on back here. The trophy will go to you in a second. Host committee, Michelle Dawson-Beatty. To our 2020 host, Regina, Saskatchewan, we've got Ken Thomas here. Come on up, Ken, to accept the trophy that will be coming to you next year.
So Saskatchewan, Regina, Saskatchewan, the hosts of next year's.
Yeah, congratulations to that committee and organization that has won it for the community of Regina. They'll have a tough act to follow, certainly, Chuck. And someday, perhaps in a few years down the line, we may very well see it back here in the north.
That'd be great.
Female team from Sask and the host, Ken Thomas, for 2020 NHC, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention for one more order of business. It's my honor to welcome to the ice to offer the closing prayer, Elder Chuck Hume, a proud member of the Champagne-Asiatic First Nations, representing the Assembly of First Nations.
Yes, I'd like to say good afternoon. I hope everybody had a very good time. I know I've watched some really good hockey today, and I'll say the prayer in my language. This is my first language that I learned. I come from the Dalton Post region and born in the bush in this country. Kunishish, Takanakau, Dajao, Junana, Garad e Shokothan Kukan Taj a Shu, Qua Mama, Qua Matashu, Dajao Narake, Shokuch a Kudo, Kudahu, Itlatan Nasarai Junana. Dajao Shu, Shokuch a Kudo, Kunishish Ta'an, Kunishish Kwanlindan, and Nan Shothan Kukan Taj a Shokuch a Kudo, Koyu, and Kukutsan Narakel, Shokuch a Kudo. Kali nara keshu, kwa nara tai, shokuch ena, kunishish takanakau, kunishish. Thank you.
Team Manitoba, the ice is yours, and congratulations once again. Thank you, everybody. See you in 1 year in Regina, Saskatchewan.
So there you go, Roger.